Okay. Looks like everybody's got their stuff. Good job.
This was much smarter. Much easier on us.
I cannot take some.
Let me
You
see.
can't
Who
drop
was that talking?
Ewok.
Oh, Ewok. This is your first trade with us too. Let me get you promoted. Congratulations, dude.
So you said take a stack of armor thing and a stack of potions?
You'll want a stack of the spiritual healing potions, a stack of the desolate armor kits, and depending on if you are a healer or DPS, you'll want to get embalmer's oil or shadow core oil. Shadow core for damage, embalmer's for heals.
Sometimes tanks use the other oil, and if you already have your own like healing potions or mana potions, I put in a few like pre-pots for people who are comfortable and familiar with those that they can use as well.
Can we get cookies?
We can.
You want me to call them now or wait till the trash is dealt with? What was that? Sorry.
This week, the flavor is I made some jammy Dodgers because I had some.
Ooh.
The classic raspberry version.
Very nice. Thank you for Mage Table 2, whoever did that.
The doctor approves.
Nice.
Yes.
All of the snacks.
All right. After everybody gets their stuff, let's go kill some trash.
Sorry, Smoke. Did you say yes for the cauldron now?
Cauldron will wait till right before we pull
Okay.
the boss. Sorry, that was my fault. I didn't hear that. My headphones turn off when I'm using my phone, and I was trying to give Phil that one last phone call. So
I get it.
All fear the festive paladin.
yeah,
I need
y'all
those
are looking festive.
I really need those pants.
Oh, these were actually a set of armor that I got years back.
Oh, I do not have proper festive pants.
I got lucky and had a pair that matched. Everybody up here.
Yeah, grab them when you can.
You just had to do a quick trade real quick. I think we're good.
Okay, Olin. Don't chase him. Okay.
Time for RP.
Mm-hmm.
It feels like it's been some time since we've raided.
Has
How's
been.
your weeks?
Yeah, it's been a while.
I like that we have red and green hats.
Oh, nice.
Awesome.
Phil, that's coming in now.
Nice.
Let's get the closet down so we can summon him as soon as he gets online.
Perfect.
We tire of your preening, Denathrius. Come and face us.
Sire Denathrius, Sire Dumb Denathrius, more like.
Bravo.
Got him.
Hello.
Hi.
Hey.
Hello.
Hey.
I'm slightly late.
Fashionably late.
You're here, which is what's important.
Let us begin your atonement with a suitable challenge.
It wouldn't feel right without you.
I was just gonna say, it just doesn't feel right without you, so I'm really glad you're here.
I was almost gonna be late, but luckily I finished. I just happened to finish a mission in Cyberpunk, and I'm like, it's already 8:30. I should probably start getting ready for the raid.
I keep falling asleep playing that game like every single fucking time.
I've heard so many mixed reviews about it. I don't know what to believe.
Which game?
Cyberpunk.
And I've got a PS4, so...
Oh my god. So the PS4, it must be a bad experience for you.
Oh, it's unplayable.
Oh, wow.
And that's why I have everything on PC nowadays. Cause
I actually
me
sent
as
back
well.
the PS4 version for my library because I'm like, nobody can play this. What's the point?
All right, Franny, I'll take left. You take right.
Sounds good.
All right, let's go.
we were in trash talk time, so y'all are welcome to talk some trash.
Just not about the Cowboys.
Yep.
Since you put down some, nice little field of green for me. I grow where I'm planted.
Same thing again.
Everyone's quiet. Holiday hangover or something.
Something like
I
that.
bet.
Yep, basically.
Oh yeah.
Also, I haven't had food yet, so
Oh, buddy.
get some carbs in me, and I'll be good.
I'm still half asleep, to be perfectly honest. I got about 3 hours, maybe 4 hours of sleep last night.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
I gotcha.
I tested positive for COVID on Monday, so we canceled ours.
Yeah, that sucks.
My brother just stayed at the station, picked up some extra shifts on the fire department, on the EMS, respectively. So we watched Soul and Mulan and the new season of Letterkenny.
What did you think about Soul?
I enjoyed it. The ending was kind of meh.
I cried. I cried like a baby.
Was it good?
It was
It is a
lovely.
very good movie. I'll like an 8.5 out of 10. I'd rate it.
Okay, cauldrons, right?
Yep, time for a cauldron and a feast.
You want a big feast or a little feast?
Probably a little feast is fine since we got this guy on
Okay.
fire.
Cauldron right in front of Lion's Mane.
Look at that.
Take one, drink it, and don't take a second because I think we had too many people.
Yeah, wait till everybody gets one and then take a second one if you can.
And then we got a food table up here. Thank you for that, Truffs.
Thank you, and thank you to everybody who donated all of the awesome fish and meats. I stand by what I said. Y'all are my meat angels.
That just sounds wrong.
It's meant to sound wrong, my dear.
I know.
Mm-hmm.
Wouldn't be truffle if I didn't say weird shit.
All right. This is exciting because we have 21 people, which is unprecedented. Oh, thank you very much. All right. So Shriek-Wing is nice and straightforward. Last time we were here, we crushed him with 0 deaths on the first attempt. Tonight should be largely no different. This fight basically boils down into 2 phases. Phase 1, we're all going to stack right behind the raid boss, who's going to basically stand between the furthest 2 pillars over there. Right on that blue spot, and we're going to stack right behind him. And the tanks are going to take care of the in-front stuff. Every so often, we're going to get a big AoE that we can't really do anything about. We're also going to get a big cleaver attack that we also can't really do anything about. During phase 1, 3 people every so often are going to get an AoE dot put on them. Those people are going to run out. They're going to drop that AoE horribleness off by the walls, and they're going to run back in. You can pretty much just strafe out. You don't really have to sprint. It's a pretty slow tick. In addition to that, twice in phase 1, he's going to do a big AoE that can be blocked by line of sight. So when that starts coming, I'm going to call it out. We're all going to run and hide between either of these 2 pillars over there. So normally we all tend to run behind one. If you do find that you're running out to drop off an AoE, you can just hide behind the other pillar. I tend to hide behind the pillar that most people aren't hiding behind, so you can always just follow me if that's more reassuring, and then everyone else can follow the tanks behind the other one. So we're going to hide behind that. It's going to do the big AoE. All good. After the second time that happens, the boss is going to despawn. He's going to teleport to the middle of the room, spawn back in. He's going to get a big red ring around him, and then he's going to start prowling around the arena. Don't step in the red ring. He will immediately kill you. Just after he spawns in, he's also going to send out a bunch of little white frisbees. Those little white frisbees are going to stun you for about 4 seconds. You don't really want to get caught in that, because either he'll end up walking into you or you'll end up trapped in an AoE. People are occasionally going to get pounced on with AoEs, which is going to put those on the floor. So generally, if you can run around the room avoiding frisbees but stay out of the area that we were stacked in before, it means when we eventually do run back, everything will be fine. He is also still going to do the line of sight issue. You can use any pillar you like. You also don't have to be right next to a pillar, by the way. If you see this little pink diamond, you can be right up against it like this, but you can also be, 20, 30 feet away. It's all about line of sight. So as long as I can't see him, he can't see me, and it's all good. So he's going to do that for about a minute, and once his energy bar hits a certain point, he's then going to turn back into his phase 1 self. The tank's going to pick him up, and we're all going to run back into the first position. So phase 1, if you get an AoE, run out. If you do need to use any kind of personal mitigation, if you get caught by an AoE at the wrong time or anything like that, that's fine. Generally try and save that for phase 2, just in case you get stunned and you get hit with something. It will just make it easier to catch up with everybody, and we're all doing line of sight stuff, so please be patient with your healer team. If you don't get hit, if you don't get healed within 2-3 seconds, please don't panic. Pop a personal cooldown, help your healing team out, and we should be fine. Other than that, we're going to dumpster them. So we all feeling good, all 21 of us.
Feeling pretty
Yep.
good.
Yeah, totally.
Beautiful. All right. In that case, I'm going to let Pigs run through the ready check process, and then we're going to run around the side to the left. So we're all going to get in position over here, and then once the tanks pick the boss up, we're all going to run into position behind them, and then we're going to go for it.
Everybody got your cauldrons? Everybody? I mean, okay, because it's still sitting there, so I was thinking maybe there's extras.
Grab
some
some. Go grab one if it's still up. Yeah. That way, the next time we put one down, not everyone will need one.
Yeah. I always just feel bad about grabbing them because I always have, personal flasks.
Could we also get one more round of Power Word Fortitude, if possible, Esri, for those of us that weren't in the group on time, which is basically 100% me and my fault. Thank you very much.
You're good.
We love you, Phil. Also, we've got one person without their flask on. Gold guard chair. Did you need one, bud?
Oh, I thought I grabbed one. Did you drink it, though?
Yeah, is it still in your bag?
Chug-a-lug, chug-a-lug.
If not, I have one extra. I can give it to you.
Same, yeah. It's called Eternal Flask if you're looking for it.
I don't see it, I guess. I guess I didn't get it.
I gotcha.
Yeah, the weird thing about WoW is that you get a feast table that automatically does the eating part for you, and then you get cauldrons, which are a 2-step process, which is inconsistent.
Oh yeah, it says you have one in your bag. It's bluish.
You can just type Eternal into the search button.
Got it. Sorry.
Awesome.
No worries.
All right, we good to go?
All right. Yep.
Let's do this.
Alright, so just remember, give tanks time to pick that up and place the boss, and then we'll run in afterwards. Alright, we're going to run in, and we're going to stack on that big green circle, and then we're going to kick the shit out of him for a bit.
Three, two, one.
We are going to save Lust until I say. Generally, the second round of phase 1 is fine. AoE's running out nice and beautifully. Thank you very much.
Three, two, one.
Okay, AoE's running out. Find the pillar. There we go. Lovely.
2, 1.
AoE's once again.
Three, two, one.
Alright, everyone with AoE's running out. Shriek is coming in 3. Alright, everyone's sliding for pillars. Okay, he is transitioning into phase 2.
2, 1.
Alright, he's going to send the frisbees out. Alright, so just space out. Just focus on frisbees. He can't be damaged, so don't worry about DPS. Just focus on your feet. Okay, he's going to shriek, so you just want to get out of line of sight. There you go. And he's going to do it again in about a second. He is about to transition back to phase 1. There he goes. Tank's going to pick him up, and we're going to head back to the first position.
Three, two, one.
Ramino, get out, get out. Sweet.
Another round of AoEs in 3.
2, 1.
Okay, AoEs, head out. Shriek is coming, so you want to start moving towards the pillars now. Beautiful, back in we go.
3, 2, 1.
Good job on AoEs.
Sorry, I'm trying to back the boss up. She does not want to go.
You're okay, don't worry, we've got line of sight. Okay, AoE's coming in now, so AoE's on Thaki, Crowley, Firmino, and myself. We got 4th. Shriek is coming in 3, so if you're running back in, just kind of be aware that you'll need to be behind a pillar. Alright, okay, we go. Okay, so it's about to transition, so we're going to get ready. Okay, and he is sending the frisbees out. So just remember, just try and stay away from where we're tanking him earlier, just so we don't get any more AoEs in that section. Apart from that, we should be okay. Alright, Shriek is coming, line of sight. Good job. Another Shriek coming in 3, 2, 1, and another one. Okay, he is almost done. Okay, he is heading back. Everyone back to first position. And now we can Bloodlust.
3, 2, 1.
Okay, AoEs, everyone out.
Three, two, one.
Alright, get ready and kill him. Yeah, cool.
Nice.
Good job.
Nice.
Awesome.
Nice, nice.
That's
That was slightly embarrassing.
Passage beyond the kennels that leads down into the
I got turned around and couldn't find him when he did his shriek.
Yeah. It's always a bit weird. I think part of the reason is also that he accelerates the rate at which he does that shriek during phase 2 really significantly. Okay, so first thing we're going to want to get rid of in trash is the Gargan Rider. And I will let Sun pilot you through Trash Talk, of course, as is tradition.
Oh, let me do stretch. Alright, welcome to Trash Talk. I'm your host today. We will be talking shit about just better things about the Cowboys. Topic for today is things that make you sort of famous, or who claim to fame. Mine is, I was once retweeted by Mark Hamill.
Really?
Nice.
That's pretty cool.
That is pretty neat, actually.
I had
Got that
my
Jedi cred.
I had my writing complimented to my face by Neil Gaiman.
What? Really? What did he say?
So I had been in this is undergrad. I was an English major because that's what you do when you're an undergrad, and you're going for a library degree. You do what you want. I had a class where part of my job for the class was to basically maintain a blog of my writing, and I did it on Tumblr. And Neil Gaiman was very active on Tumblr at the time, and he found the piece that I had written, and he liked it and reblogged it. And about 2 weeks later, I actually met him at a signing for The Ocean at the End of the Lane, and I told him, I was pretty sure he didn't remember me, but I told him that he had liked and reblogged something that I had written, that it meant the world to me. And he said, I would not have done it if I didn't think it was actually good.
Hey, guys, if we
Awesome.
can back up to the stairs here, I kind of need the line of sight pulleys.
Not bad.
Overseer's down at the end pool. You can start with the guys on the right.
Oh, on a random thing, they're doing another one of those dramatic radio dramas of one of his books again, and Gwendolyn Christie's going to be in it.
She's amazing.
Which one are they doing?
Watch out for the
You know what?
traps.
I knew it, and now that I said it, I can't remember. I'll look it up if
I think it's The Seeker and the Spindle.
I think you're right.
Okay, just yeah.
I have things to trash talk, people.
Go for it.
I want to trash talk all of the business people and all the people in charge at CD Projekt Red, because stuff has come to light. Devs have anonymously talked and said, hey, we were aware of all these issues that y'all were talking about, but management kept pushing us forward and said, oh, we gotta go and release it on all these systems that clearly did not have the ability to run a game. So, and also they've been doing like 6 day, 6 day week, 12-hour days since March. So screw you guys. And because Cyberpunk 27 is an amazing game, and how dare they put it on things that couldn't run it just in the name of making extra bucks. And also, how dare they make these poor devs work like 70, 80-hour weeks for like 6 months in the middle of a pandemic.
As a brief, we're just waiting for that overseer to come back so we can nuke it before she opens all the.
Yeah, I want to pull the group to the left first. So.
Okay. Yeah. Sure. That's totally fine with me. All right, we're gonna stack them in this door. All right, here we go.
I need a target.
I feel like there was
Cormac,
no
can
winning.
you yank that Hawkeye down, please? Never mind.
All right, let's take care of the overseer as a priority. Good job. And back on the hallway. And I can tell you, without breaking a Sega NDA, that crunch doesn't work. And it just stresses everybody out. And then we all end up doing work that's infinitely worse. But unfortunately, as much as developers would love to make the decisions about how we approach the development of video games, we don't always get to make those decisions. And sometimes those decisions are made by people that have never touched an IDE in their life. So we do the best we can where we can. My heart does genuinely go out to the people at CDPR that really did care about that project and were trying to do the best job they could. My heart doesn't go out to their marketing department or their board, but such is life. My former housemate was a CDPR employee, so I have stories with a capital S. Okay, so we have another Kenwell overseer in the front here, and then in a true Cowboys to the left of me, Council right kind of situation, we've got Vicious Gargans in pairs of 3. So we're going to nuke the overseer in the middle, and then we're going to sort of cleave and AoE down these dogs. And as Pig said, always you loot your trash, because quite frequently we end up with a BOE somewhere in the pile.
Okay, overseer first, and I think the rest come with it, don't they?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Okay.
So it's just AoE and cleave them down. Alrighty. We're going to put some cookie jars down, and then we can go over mechanics, and it should be reasonably nice and simple. Before I do so, in true Dad takes you all on a road trip fashion, before we get in the car, does anybody need to use the bathroom?
I need a drink. I'll be right back.
Sure. All right. Smoker, we get like a 2-minute timer, and then we'll go over mechanics.
Yeah.
Cool. Thank you.
Hey, Fail.
A question for Fail or for just in general?
Yeah, I was gonna tell Fail something.
He must have stepped away. He'll be back, I'm sure.
No, it's fine.
I got my drink. I'm good. I can go for hours now. Dr. Pepper.
That's our poison of choice, too.
I'm kind of famous for it at work. Like, whenever it's, hey, can you bring something for the party? I always bring a 12-pack of Dr. Pepper. And it's cold.
I have passion fruit green tea from Panera. It's my favorite.
I've actually been to the Dr. Pepper plant.
Cool.
Or there, I was in Texas or something. Used to go to the lake right by it for summers when I was little.
I really need to find out what's going on with my Ethernet connection because I am on my laptop today, and my latency is the same amount it is on my my desktop, but my frame rate is doubled.
It's likely a different resolution or a smaller screen or something.
I don't know.
Should I drop $600 on a 3080?
On a third what?
3080?
Five.
I don't think so. Like, I've got a 2060 and I'm able to run Cyberpunk at, the max settings, So I don't know what else I'd be needing, like, one better than that. Unless I was doing, like, something like, crypto mining or something.
Well, it's a toss-up for me for Christmas. Between a new gun case, a new gun, or computer parts.
Actually, with the entire Cyberpunk thing, the one person I really feel sorry for is Mike Pondsmith.
Which one is he? I'm bad with
He's the
names.
guy who created Cyberpunk 2020, Cyberpunk 2017, and Cyberpunk Red, the game system that this entire video game world is based on.
I gotcha.
And they kept holding off bringing out Cyberpunk Red, which is the new version of the game, which is awesome, by the way, because I have a PDF now. We will not talk about where I got it.
Let's check and see if everybody's back. Also, can you give Sun Assist failed out? I forgot to do that before I made you here. That's not bad. We have one person without food. That's Jan.
Oh, sorry. Hold on. I got food on me.
Alright. Now that you're back, Phil, I had to tell you a thing.
I will. Let's get through tactics, and then we'll talk the thing.
Okay.
Okay. So I'm assuming there are at least some people in this raid that haven't done this fight before, although some of you may have done it on LFR. But I'm going to assume that this is a little new to a few people. Is that the case, or is there basically, if you want to drop in raid chat for anyone that hasn't done it? Okie dokie. All right. So this fight is. Some people describe this as fun. I will, because I have something wrong with me, I think. But essentially, this is a 3.5 phase fight. Huntsman Baltimore has 3 pet dogs. The 3 pet dogs do different things. However, he also shares a health pool with all of his dogs. So if you're hitting his dog, you're also kind of lowering his health pool. So if you are a single target specialist that doesn't rely on dots, then feel free to just basically pick one of them and go at him. I would recommend picking the boss, as he moves a lot less, whereas the rest of them tend to move around a considerable amount more. So the first thing is that Huntsman himself has multiple abilities. The first is Sin Seeker. He is going to pick 3 targets, and around his feet are going to be big red arrows that are going to point out those targets. You're also going to get a symbol over your head if the target is you. He basically shoots an arrow at you after a short delay. The thing about the arrow is that it will go through other people to get to you, and it will shoot all the way out of the room. So as far as I'm aware, even if you stand right next to him, it's still going to shoot in his direction. So you basically just want to kind of strafe left and right to make sure that you don't have anyone in between you and him, and the same behind you, just to make sure you're the only one that's getting hit. Second thing is he does a very, very big cone attack that's pretty unpleasant and does hit us for about 15% of our health bar at the very least. Judging by the way that we tend to position him around the room, if you can watch DBM and jump out of the way, that's fine. On normal difficulty, it doesn't tend to hurt us too much, but mainly if you're he pretty much just picks a target and goes for it, and it's very, very quick. So there's not a ton we can do about it. We just tend to absorb it and move forward. So this fella, Margor, the dog that he starts with, I don't know if these are dogs, but, you know, in the same way that I say hold hands and leech circles and bomb circles, I'm going to say dogs for ease of use. The first dog has two very, very unpleasant abilities. The main one that we all have to worry about is he does a very, very unpleasant leap. So he's going to pick a target. Sometimes it's in the melee group, and sometimes it's in the ranged group. But essentially, it does a bunch of damage that gets shared out over the area. So, for example, if it picks Grilligar, who's going to be in the ranged group with the healers and the ranged DPS, we're all going to run and hold hands with Grilligar. What that means is we're all going to stand within the circle with them, and then that's going to help us all soak the damage, and that gets distributed over a way larger number of people and does infinitely less damage. Melee DPS, again, similarly easy job. You just got to kind of stack on the person that it is hitting. Give me 1 second to tweak something. I need elevator music for when I'm doing this, I think. If someone wants to provide that for the next 5 seconds.
Just discordant girl from Ipanema.
I love this.
I know, I think we're both doing that.
Okay, thank you. All right, I'm sorted now. All right, the other big thing he's going to be doing is Jagged Claws. That's a tank ability, but effectively what it means is just that Franny and Pigs have to swap the bear and huntsman between each other. So if you hear them say swap, that is the tanks communicating with each other. So if you are DPS or healing, you don't really need to worry about that. That's them communicating with each other, so please don't worry. When we get Huntsman 70%, the dog will have died roughly about 3% before that. So that dog's going to die. We're going to hit 70%. The gate's going to open on the left, and we're going to get Barghast, who is everybody's least favorite dog in the universe. Barghast has two abilities. The first is why we're going to separate him and his master pretty significantly over the course of the room, not too far, so the healers can reach everybody at once. But it is Rip Soul, which is he is going to pick a tank target, he's going to rip their soul out, and it's going to appear as a big ghost that's like 3 or 4 times the size of the player. For healing purposes, and anyone with any healing abilities who's also DPS, ideally ranged, what's going to happen is we're going to have to heal that thing to full. It spawns based on tank health. If the tank is at 100% health, then that thing will spawn at 90% health. If the tank is at 60% health when it spawns, that thing's going to spawn at 60% health. So when you see it incoming, it is going to be imperative to make sure that the tank, who is currently getting wailed on by Margor, is as close to 100% health as possible. And then we're going to heal that ghost up to full, at which point it despawns. The reason we want to get rid of it is because if the ghost actually reaches Huntsman Ultimore, he gets infinitely more powerful and will inevitably wipe the raid. The other thing is Shaded Barghast, which is that the dog clones itself, makes a little ghostly version of itself that generally pops up somewhere in the room. So that dog's a little bit special in that if you put crowd control on it, it starts gaining a stacking debuff where it takes more and more damage. It also has a horrible, horrible card where if it gets it off, we all get a huge debuff for about 15 seconds. It's like a big dot, it does an absolute ton of damage. So what the DPS is going to do is we're going to be very, very gently, with no damage whatsoever. Do not ever damage the ghost until you're told to do so, but we are going to interrupt those casts. So we just want to make sure they're all getting kicked. Meanwhile, the hunters are going to throw a freeze trap on it, and it's going to tick up that horrible damage debuff, at which point it's going to get to 20 stacks, so it's going to be taking a ton of extra damage. Truffle's going to call it out, and then all DPS is going to switch to that ghost. We're going to burn it down, and then we're going to go back to the bosses. So phase 2, heal big ghost, hold off on the Shade of Barghast until you're told to do so by Truffle, and then we will switch focus. Yes, so Truffle's going to call it out at 10 stacks, 15 stacks, and 20 stacks. And when we get to 15, if you're ranged, kind of be conscious of the fact that you'll have to start moving, and then when we get to 20, we'll nuke it down. It should go down fairly swiftly. At 40%, we're going to get the third one. So Hucutus is actually a lot more mechanically straightforward for DPS than it is for the tanks. In the case of the tanks, basically, he gets a debuff where he gets stronger and stronger and stronger over time. Well, he gets buff, rather. That can only be gotten rid of by him moving, but whenever he moves, he deals a really large amount of damage to all of us. So essentially what the tanks are going to do is they're going to let it stack up to about 4 or 5 stacks. Then they're going to move him gently. When they call that out, just kind of be aware that you're going to be taking a little bit of damage. Also, like the first fight, a few of us at a time are going to get marked out for AoEs. The AoEs you drop are huge. They're like 30 yards wide. So we're going to set up Warlock gates in the room. Jeffrey's going to take care of the right side. I'm going to take care of the left side. But generally, you have more than enough time on average to kind of run to the side of the room and drop them off. The tick down on it is fairly straightforward. After that dog dies, we only have Huntsman and the first 2 abilities to worry about. So, phase 1, hold hands when I tell you to hold hands, whether you're in the melee group or the range group. So I will call out which group that is. Tanks are going to taunt swap. Phase 2, Barghast. So we're going to heal up the ghost, and then we're going to tactfully wait and then nuke down those shades of Barghast. The one thing I would point out, by the way, is when Barghast dies, does not auto die with it. So if he spawns a Shade of Barghast and then he dies 5 seconds later, we still have to do the Shade of Barghast phase, so don't forget about it. However, if it dies and there is no Barghast, we won't get another one after that. And then the last one, if you get an AoE, just run out of the room. Other than that, you just got to be very, very aware of your own personal health. So if you do get an opportunity to bandage yourself, or you have to pop a health stone or a Kyrian potion, please feel free to do so. Also to the Kyrian, this is a reminder that you want to grab your steward just now and make sure you're all topped up. So, does everyone feel good about it? It's kind of a fight that you learn by doing. Most of us have kind of done it by now, but it's always good to run over it because it's a multi-stage fight.
I have one small question.
Sure.
Do I need to focus the beast or the boss? Or it doesn't matter? I can.
Oh, I see. Okay. In the second phase with the shades.
Yeah.
Okay, so during that phase, you're going to be focusing Barghast himself, like the actual beast. And then when we call out to switch over, if you get the opportunity, yeah, then you'll switch. But before that, the crucial thing is not to do what I have done twice previously, which is to put a permanent, irremovable damage over time spell on the shade, because it will repeatedly break out of crowd control, and it will eventually get a cast off, and it will definitely wipe the raid. So, yeah. Okay.
I will say one thing, Ewok, as somebody else who plays a demon hunter, avoid that thing like the plague until you get as far away from it as possible, because all of our interrupts do damage.
Okay. Good. Okay. Perfect.
Yeah, so nothing deals any damage. It is difficult to resist the temptation, I know. Trust me, I've failed twice. Okay, so we all feel good? Let's run a ready check and then we'll run and beam up.
Alright, can I tell you now?
Yes.
Oh, I was just gonna tell you that I feel like you'd appreciate my cookies this week because they're Jammy Dodgers.
Ooh, that's a good one. That's a British classic, the Jammy Dodger.
Yeah.
All right.
No, because they're one of my favorites, and it's hard to get them here. But my mom got me some for Christmas, so I was eating them and thinking of them.
That's fair. Jammy Dodger is basically like a cookie with like sort of strawberry jelly in the middle of it. Except on the top layer, there's a little heart-shaped hole. So it looks like there's a little heart on top of it. It's very cute. Right.
We good to go?
Yes. So, Jeffrey, if you want to take, just pop up when we're in the ranged group. If you want to pop up a gate to the right, I'll pop up a gate to the left.
Okie dokie.
All right. Just remember, if you're ranged and you can put dots on stuff, you can put dots on both of them for double damage throughout all of these phases. Alright, off we go. First lunge is coming in 2. Okay, lunge is on Grox in the range group, so we're going to hold hands. There we go, back in the middle group. Sin Secret Arrow, so make sure you're running out of the group.
Swap.
Lunge on Firmino, so everyone go hold hands in the range group. Good job. Okay, and Kobe in the melee group. Good job. Okay, Sin Secret Arrows, you want to spread out? Margor is at 5%, so tanks, you want to be prepped to pick up the Barghast. You should get him in about 5 seconds. Cool. Alright, we are starting the Barghast phase. So just remember, this is about healing ghosts and dealing with shade. Okay, we're getting our first shade of Barghast in about 2 seconds. There's the ghost if we want to heal it up. Big tall elf. There we go, good job. Okay, so the shade is up. The hunters are going to deal with it. Truffle's going to call it out. Just make sure that if you see it casting, you interrupt it in a way that doesn't do any damage. Sin Secret Arrows are up.
I need interrupt.
Ghost is up. Please heal it.
Ten stacks.
Okay, thank you. Okay, we're getting another shade of Barghast in about 5 seconds. Okay, I think we're probably going to want to burn it down now. Alright, let's kill the ghost. Everyone switch targets. Remember to interrupt the Deathly Roar as you're DPSing it down. Oh, new target. Get that interrupted. Thank you.
Sin Seekers.
Rip Souls, we're getting a big ghost. There it is, remember to heal it up. No worries, Cormac.
10. $15.
Okay.
$20.
Alright, switch targets please and mute the ghost. We're going to get a third shade, so just be mindful of that. And heal the ghost up as well, please. Okay, so there's one more shade that we're getting. Right behind it by that Warlock gate, so just be careful you don't hit it with Cleave or anything like that. Barghast is dead, so Hutis is coming out. Sin Secret Arrows, please spread out. Okay, so just remember, if you're getting AoEs, be mindful of that.
10. $15.
Okay, AoEs, everyone run out if you need to run out.
$20 on the shade.
Okay, let's nuke the ghost, please. No more ghosts after this. Okay, if we want to battle res XQ and Cormac now, that should be fine. AoEs, please run out to the wall. There we go. Cincy Growers, please run out. Okay, outside the room. Alright, let's focus on getting Cucutus down. AoEs outside the room. So, all your DPS on Cucutus, please. And we can last at this point. Okay, AoEs out the room, please. Cincy Guerreros, please move out. Good job. Cutis is down, nuke the boss. Just remember, Sin Seekers and that spread shot are all we have to worry about now. Nice and straightforward. Sin Seekers, spread out, please. Good job. Alright, Sin Seekers, one more time. Good job.
Woohoo!
Nice.
Okay, exit for the boss room is over this way.
Oh, nice, Squealer.
Congrats.
Yeah, congrats on that.
Nice.
Ooh.
Oh yes, before I forget, Esri, loot. We did not do that before that boss, and I apologize. So, was it that you didn't need the piece that you got?
If you don't need it, you can give it to me, and we'll do a roll for it for other cloth wearers.
Oh, someone called out a piece of loot. Oh, no, it was Crowley. My apologies. Yep, it was Jay.
Yeah, if you have a piece of loot you do not need, just trade it with me, and I will have everybody that needs it roll off on it. Also, if you need an enchant, go ahead and let me know. I'm doing them anyway for other people.
Hey, Franny, congrats on those recipes.
Thank you very much. Yeah, I'm sitting here admiring my my new bracelets.
One of these days I'll get another piece of loot.
Did they bump up loot drop chance again, or we just get really lucky on this guy?
Not that I've seen.
I think they just have a thing against you. I'm really starting to wonder that.
Dude, it's just so bad these last couple.
Anyone else want to roll?
Yes.
Oh, everyone.
Thought I was running heroics with Pygmy yesterday, and
Last call.
every piece I got was a repeat of something I already had.
That's such a bummer.
I know that feel, bro.
Grats. Alright, so there are a load of rats down here. One of them is innately hostile in every group, a bunch of them aren't, but every time they die, they drop a horrible AoE on the ground that lasts for about 15 seconds or so. So just be aware that if you're melee DPS, this is like the most unfriendly sewer in all of WoW history. So just feel free to take a backseat if you need to, if you're noticing AoEs are stacking underneath your feet.
Who said I'm melee DPS. I'm throwing glaives. I'm range DPS.
You can dash. You're all right. If you're a Death Knight, you're going to be waddling in fear. All right, trash talk. Sam, take us away.
What should the topic be this time? Football, other than the Cowboys. Go ahead.
How the heck can my team actually have a chance at the playoffs? I'd like to know that. Because
Remind us
they
who your
shouldn't
team
be.
is.
They suck.
You're talking about real football, right? Not the American stuff.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, nice one. I like that.
When would the women's national team get paid as much as the men because the men are worthless?
You know what? Women's, like the American women's soccer team, are fucking incredible. If you've never done any research or had the opportunity, I really do recommend it.
I honestly think they should just play in the men's division of the World Cup. They probably have a chance of
I
winning.
agree. I think they take the fucking cup, but
They'd
I
certainly be
yeah,
better
I
than
would
the U.S. men's team.
Uh-huh. But the
I
men's
would
team gets
definitely
paid more.
qualify.
I would
Yeah.
actually root for them instead of other countries in Europe that I normally do.
yeah, the European choices are a bit all over the place at times.
I'm
I-
a ranged warrior.
Yeah, I'm standing here next to Cormac going, just throw the glaive!
Yeah, throw the glaives. Oh, CD on the I-beam. Let's go.
I hate these rats so much.
Throw axe.
I remember back in the days where I was a prot warrior and I used to have a gun for pulling.
Nice. Dude, I want to... I mean, I don't actually want a gun, but I want a gun. Yeah.
And they're awesome. As long as you shoot them with respect.
We were making a joke for a little while there when I was having a really hard time getting my bow. Somebody got a BOE hammer in my best in slot for Sprites of Ascension. And I was like, you know, we're going to get a weapon. And then they handed me the hammer. And I'm like, yes, I'm going to fire hammers from this shitty bow.
Yes.
I mean, I'm not gonna lie, that'd probably do a lot of damage.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah, and then I made a joke about Azeroth has really excellent gun control laws.
They also have bow control laws.
Yeah, I was
Exactly.
gonna say,
And
better
crossbow
bow.
Yeah.
control laws.
Exactly. Ranged weapons writ large.
They've gone a bit to the extreme in this case.
Just
Yeah,
a
they got
little.
rid of shields too, so like, because don't let you throw them.
I mean,
You
that's a
could
ranged
just-
weapon. I know people
you
have been
could
having
just
trouble getting
start
glaives.
being an artificer and then throw spells from your hammer.
Yeah.
I fully expect them to make that class one of these days. They're just gonna.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Just tell me when bards happen.
Okay, pulling.
Alrighty. Just remember, big blueberries first, little flappy blueberries afterwards.
Yeah, that circly thing on you, stand by some people. Other than people that are circly thingies on them as well.
Yes, so if you get a big blue AoE over you, it's because a little blueberry is about to jump on you.
How can you tell with all of the shit on the floor?
We see, that's the thing, Franny, is modern WoW has solved this problem by making all of the bad AoEs the same color as all of the good AoEs. So now you get good red stuff under your feet, and everyone's like, no, it's fine, because I'm a vampire. And you're like, sure, I'm 32 and don't have time for this.
When did we get old?
Around the time that Space Jam came out, about 2 decades ago, just going to flick that all on you at once.
Oh my god!
Why did that was unnecessary and uncalled for? Delma.
I feel attacked.
I wonder if the
My,
website's still up.
Oh, kindergarten.
My kid likes trolling me by pretending that he's never heard of Wi-Fi, so I feel it. He's like, I don't understand. Why wouldn't the internet be wireless? Grin.
You guys have
You
seen
told
the
him
old,
the time
Space
where
Jam,
you couldn't be on the phone and have internet.
Oh no, I remember that
Oh, yeah.
time because I kept hearing Janet get off the computer.
Did you guys ever see the Space Jam website?
Disconnected me.
No.
Oh, you
I
still
think
Still
it's still live.
It
like
is,
in
yeah.
all its
They kept
1997 glory.
Oh, the GeoCities glory, or is it Angel Fire?
It's super. It's the fieriest Angel Fire.
Nothing in the world quite like the X-Files website.
Oh my god, I had so many X-Files games. I love them all.
You played those too?
Oh,
I'm not sure about it, but I think that the Stargate website might still be up.
If
Really?
it's not,
That was the
way back
first
between.
website for a movie.
Kind of fitting in a way.
Lion's Mane, no.
Speaking of Space Jam, how do y'all feel about the LeBron movie?
Yeah, whatever.
Good. As a quick aside, by the way, leech circles do exist in these trash packs. So if you do get a little white circle, or if you see someone with a little white circle around them, just stack on them and hold hands, because they can't get healing. But they can leech from you.
It's the white
I'm
torch
fine
of
with new
miasma.
LeBron, mainly because Michael Jordan turned out to kind of be an arsehole in the long term. And LeBron's been consistently pretty great. He's very cocky on the court, but he's a very, very good person off of it.
He kind of has a reason to be, too.
Yeah. I mean, when you're the equivalent of like a level 60 character and everyone else is rocking like, Twinkie level 10s.
Just had a gold
yeah.
shire.
What has Michael Jordan done recently that's bad?
He's just an asshole.
Not much recently, just generally.
And this coming from a Chicagoan who was a huge Bulls fan growing up. He's just an asshole.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's so sad.
My dad met him, and he wasn't the, he wasn't a complete jerk to everybody, but he wasn't the nicest guy.
Maybe it's just people from Chicago, because I used to do the charity event every year or photograph it every year for the Bears quarterback. What was his name? Jay Cutler was an asshole.
Yeah, when he got
he
here.
is the biggest dick you will ever meet in your whole life. I did his charity event at least 4 or 5 years, and every single time there was a story I walked away with wow.
No, the Bears fans were like, don't let the door hit your ass on the way out, you anti-vaxxer. We'd like your kids to leave.
Jeffrey, if you want to mirror that gate over on the right, so if you just want to stick a gate towards the middle.
I can do that.
So this fight, alright, cool. This fight is a lot of fun. For those of you who haven't been here before, Blizzard calls this the Hungering Destroyer. You're fine. It still works. It still gets you to the outside of the room. I'm not bothered about it. Just no one click it right now, otherwise you're going to get an express bit of experience in being a tank. So, this is called the Hungering Destroyer. That is wrong. The data is incorrect. His name is the Blueberry. We're going to talk about the Blueberry for a few minutes. So, get all my stuff up. So the Blueberry is kind of fun in that he's got 4 key mechanics. If you're in the vast majority of the group, there's a big, horrible, crushing damage kind of thing if you're a tank to look out for. But if you're in the vast majority of the group, he has 4 key mechanics. They're very, very simple to think around. The thing just to watch out for is they do a lot of damage individually. So essentially it's a much more simple fight than Huntsman mechanically. It's just the risk is higher, if that makes sense. So, and by the way, if you took your flasks around this point, you should be okay through the end of this fight. It might tick off during the fight. If you want to refresh it, that's probably fine. Smoke, should we be refreshing during this period, or should we just run into this one and then we can refresh it if we do it again?
Yeah, it'll be fine. I bet you one shot it, so it'll be fine.
Okay, cool.
That was last words.
You remember that healers thing from last time?
Yep.
About 2 times ago.
So there are multiple abilities here that are going to pop up. I've creatively renamed them a little bit, not to confuse you. I'm still going to call out costs, but just to rename them to give you a better idea of what these abilities do. The first ability is Gluttonous Miasma. Essentially, basically picks 4 people on normal difficulty, and they're going to get a little it's basically a white little ring around them. What that does is it basically means that if you get it, you can't be healed. However, if you have people within the circle with you, you will leech health off of those people, and those people can be healed. So when we get those four little stacks, what we want to do, if I can borrow, let's see, if I can borrow, let's say Smoke, if you want to come over here. All right. So if I get a little leech circle and Smoke is in my circle, that's great because it starts canceling the leeching. Truffle, if you want to run over with me as well. Now I have two people, which means at this point it cancels out me losing health and I actually start to stabilize. If I get three people, I start to gain health. Essentially, all it means is if you see a white circle and people aren't standing in it, please go stand in it, hold hands with that person. Then the healing team can heal the people they're leeching off, and then they'll be fine. The only thing I would point out is that if you have a white circle and someone else has a white circle, you have to make sure that your AoE isn't overlapping with their body, because then it cancels out. So essentially you want the rings touching but not overlapping, and then everyone will stack in. We're going to be tanking the boss in the middle of the room, and the tanks are going to kind of spin around to face the other way. We're going to stack behind it, kind of a la Shriekwing, but we're all going to be holding hands in those little leech circles. So when that happens, just be aware that you want to go hold hands with those people and that people are going to come hold hands with you. It's also the reason we don't spread out across the room for this fight, is because, and I've just seen this a lot on Raid Finder, people get really, really spread out, and then if they get the white circle, nobody's near enough, and they either get very low or potentially die by the time people get there. The second ability is Volatile Ejection. So Volatile Ejection is basically 3 players are going to get a mark on them. It's like Sin Seeker. So you want to be running out the group and making sure that that big beam of energy that's going to fly out instead of an arrow is going to hit you and nobody else. The thing you especially want to do is make sure it doesn't hit anyone that's also being targeted by a beam. Because if you get hit by a beam, you're going to take a bunch of damage, but you're going to be fine. If you get hit by 2 beams at the same time, it does a ton more damage than you would think, and you will probably die from it. So when we're stacked behind the boss, you can just kind of like strafe out to the side and you'll be fine. You'll be okay. Just try to stay at least 5 to 10 yards away from someone else that has the beam on them, and you'll be okay. So holding hands in leech circles, big beams. The next thing is expunge, which is bomb circles. Everyone in the raid is going to get a very thin blue circle around them, and it's going to explode after about 5 seconds. The size of your circle depends on how much health you have left. So if you're 100% health, it's actually really small. If you have 20% health, it is huge. So if you notice that you're very low on health, to the point where it's really difficult for you to not overlap your circle with other people, pop a Hellstone or a potion, and you will watch that ring shrink down real small in real time. But it's a 5-second mechanic. It's really easy. So what will happen is we'll call it out. Everyone will spread out all across the room. It will pop, and then we'll run back in. The whole thing is over in the same amount of time that the Shriekwing dodge behind the pillar thing is, nice and quick. The last thing is Consume. He will do a huge sort of gravity well type thing, so you'll start getting pulled into the center of the room. This is why we have Warlock Gates up. So we just want to be running to the walls. He does damage based on how close you are to him while he's channeling that ability. So we're going to run all the way out to the walls. When he's done doing that, after about 10 seconds, we can all run back in and stack up again. Okay, we're going to stick another cauldron down, I believe, in a couple of minutes as well. So just be aware for when we start. We're going to grab another flask and run those. So, if you see leech circles, make sure you're holding hands. Bomb circles, we want to run, spread out, make sure your circle's as small as you can get it. Beams, strafe out, make sure they don't hit anybody else, especially other people that have beams getting targeted at them. And when he does the big sort of, I want to hug everyone to death, just run to the walls and we'll be fine. It's effectively like a big dance. It's a lot of fun, and we should be good. Jan, feel free to stick a cauldron down, and we'll grab a flask. Oh, you've already done so. My apologies. It was hidden behind the mosh pit of fancy transmog.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody dance.
Speaking of a mosh pit, I saw this funny meme on Facebook where someone took a picture of a mosh pit and then edited everyone to look like Napoleon Dynamite and said it's a gosh pit.
Has everybody got one?
Gosh.
Has everybody got one and drunk it?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay, then people can start taking extras. It's always fun to start fights when you're all corgis.
Mark has requested a joke explanation in chat.
Watch Napoleon Dynamite.
Yeah.
That's really
You know
all
what
there is
else?
to it.
Napoleon Dynamite
Yeah, that's
is like almost 20 years old now.
Oof.
So is the film. All right, so let's get ready. So yeah, leech circles, hold hands, bomb circles, spread out, beams, spread out. Other thing, spread out. It's basically just you're kind of running in and out. It's a bit like doing the hokey pokey. It's a lot of fun. We're gonna have a great time. So yeah, don't stress too much. If you die, we'll figure it out. And
White's the go in, blues get away from, right?
yeah, that is exactly the way to see it. You'll notice I'll call everything out as we go, so make sure you're able to focus on your own jobs and not have to watch 50 bars at once. That's my job. So let's prep. I will let Pigs run the final ready check, and we'll get ready.
Don't forget to grab extra flasks. There's space.
Yep.
Can we get a rebuff, please? And make sure you've eaten your food. Looks like Rogar, you didn't get food. If you need some, let me know.
I think what we might also do as well for feast tables, this could just be a me problem, so feel free to just blame my idiocy. So is if we're in a big group, if we want to stick them over to the side, sometimes I miss them because they're in the middle of a big group of people.
I usually try to do an announcement too.
Yeah, you might need to re-up your oil too, by the way, everyone.
Yeah.
I've discovered with that, you need to wait for it to completely run out before you do it again. Otherwise, it doesn't count.
Or you can just right-click the buff.
True.
You good to go? Do I need to run a ready check again?
Yeah, let's run one final one, make sure, and then we'll run it.
All right, let's do it.
Three, two, one.
Okay, the first leech circles are up. Everyone in close. Stack, 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 stack. Hold hands if you need to.
Circle up here.
Alright, beams. Run out to the side, please. There we go. Yep, that's the problem with the beams. Can someone get sun up, please?
Yep, got it. Please come inside the green circle, everybody.
Yep, you need to stack in this one bit. Okay, bomb circles. Everyone spread out, spread out, spread out. Alright, and back in. Part of the reason we need you in this green circle is it keeps everyone topped up on health. So for bomb circles, it means everyone's circle is as small as it can be. Alright, hold hands if you need to hold hands. Beams if you need to head up. Bomb circles in 5. Bomb circles, everyone spread out. For those bomb circles, if you can sprint or turn into a cat or whatever, try and run further out, because it means the slower people have space for someone to go. Alright, beams. Alright, we really need to watch the beams. Consume, everyone out to the walls, please. Okay, tanks, pick them up. Alright, everyone stack behind the boss. Over here, we're going to have to reposition.
3, 2, 1.
Nice and clustered inside the green circle, please. Bomb circles. And now, everyone spread out, please. Good job, back in.
3, 2, 1.
Alright, beams. So if you got a beam, head out. Back in.
Three, 2, 1.
Okay, bomb circles, everyone spread out. Beams.
Can somebody hang out with me?
2, 1.
Yep, you need to be stacking on people and holding hands. Run out. And back in. Beams, spread out.
3, 2, 1.
Alright, everyone hold hands. Get ready for bomb circles in 3. Okay, spread out, please.
3, 2, 1.
And back in. Beams. And back in. Just remember to hold hands with people.
3, 2, 1.
Okay, remember to hold hands on people, please. Bombs, spread out. Yep, I think we're going to wipe this one. Alright, just stay where you are, let the boss kill you, and we'll reset.
Three, 2, 1.
Okay, so the primary reason that we're having people die is two things. The first is the beams. That's going to happen. You're going to have to learn that one by doing it in terms of positioning, but you just want to make sure you're running out. The other thing is when I say stack on the green circle, I'm not being picky about positioning. The reason that we have people stack on that circle is twofold. The first, it means that nobody is ever out of range for having the whole leech circle thing on them. It means it's really easy to kind of run into their circles and help them stack. The other thing is that it's keeping everyone topped up on health. The reason that keeping everyone topped up on health is important is because when we get to that bomb phase, it means that everybody's bomb circle is very, very small. So if you're 30 yards away from that druid healing circle, then you're going to end up on like 40-50% health by the bomb circle phase, which means that your circle is going to be like 50 yards wide and it's going to kill a bunch of people. So we just want to make sure that we are genuinely stacked up in that thing. I know it seems counterintuitive to all stack up in a tiny group for a boss that seems to operate on, you know, AoE and line attacks, but trust me on that. We've done it before. It does work.
Also, if you're able to stand in multiple circles, you should do that.
Yeah, there's no real downside. Like the healing team have you. You're also standing in the middle of an AoE. In addition to that, melee DPS, if when you're running out of that, when you're running out with the beam, you shouldn't be off to the side when you're heading back in, because if you're halfway around the side of the boss, people can't run around to get you, and you're also not standing in the healing AoE, so that's the tricky bit. So while it is tempting to stand off to the side in that sort of traditional positioning, if you're just stood behind the boss with everybody else, it means we can always get to you. So everybody should be stacked like that. The only people outside that group should be on the other side, and that is Pigs and Franny as the tanks.
So, even if you're melee, I know it's like he said, it's tempting to stand on the side, but my green circle should be right behind the boss at all times. So, it has a hot that it will put on you, so you'll know if you're in it or not based on that.
Do you want me to put my circle right on top of yours or around for
Yep.
yours?
Nope, right on top. Everybody should be inside it at all times unless they're having to run out for a specific reason.
Yeah. So whether you're melee or you're ranged, you just want to be within that circle. Additionally, we also have Arresto Shami, so there's two stacked AoE heals as a reason to kind of stay within that area.
Yeah. Just 1 second.
And the other reason for that is if we're all behind and people are running their stuff out diagonally, they're not going to get you with the beams because you're not on the sides. It gives much more room for the beams to be able to be at the sides of the boss, and then nobody is at the sides. Everybody's directly behind, and then they won't get killed because we had, I think, 3 or 4 melee DPS all get killed at the exact same time last time.
Yeah.
And that was the reason. They were all on the sides.
Yeah, that was what killed me. I was having the circle and I was on the side and I just died with the diagonal thingy.
Cookies.
Yeah, in addition, I find that with the beams, kind of like the Sinseeker arrows, I tend to err on the side of paranoia, which is the moment I get the notification that I have a beam coming me, I start running. Because it always seems like you might have enough time to, like, if you're, doing like a channel cast or anything like that, but you do a lot less DPS if you're dead. So if you just want to start running the moment you get it, you're fine. And just remember, if you need to dart back into the group, you can always literally just run through the boss back into the circle. You don't have to circle straight back in.
Can you remember me, please, the name of that attack that we have, like, to put it on diagonal, please?
Yeah. So the beam attack itself, the actual name of it is Volatile Ejection.
Volatile Ejection. Okay.
Yeah, so that's the one that will do the big beam. Gluttonous Miasma is the leech circles, Expunge is the bomb circle, and Consume is the big one that everyone needs to run out of. The one useful thing, at least if you're looking at the standard names, not my silly made-up ones, is that they tend to somewhat describe what they're doing. In terms of Gluttonous Miasma, is it's like gluttony. It's essentially you're eating the health out of other people. Expunges, expunging damage out of yourself. Consume means he's trying to eat everybody like a giant bowl of cereal. Although I am fully aware that you don't stand in the middle of a bowl of cereal to eat it. That was a bad metaphor.
Wait,
we're gonna
you
move
don't?
on.
You don't, maybe.
Well, look, where I'm from, we don't have your giant 30 feet wide fancy American cereal bowls.
It's okay. You have bathtubs that you can actually lay down in, though.
Aren't you in like Ohio right now, though?
I'll thank you kindly not to judge, sir.
Okay, so just remember, leech circles, hold hands, bomb circles, run out. beam circles, you want to sort of strafe around the side, let the beam hit you, and then just run straight back into the circle. You're all good. And then expunge will all run to the outside of the room. And bear in mind, it does do damage based on how far you are. I know it's really tempting to kind of like, rather than run to the wall, just kind of like stand around here and be like, but I'm still in range and I can still do DPS. Please just run to the wall. I'll love you forever if you just run to the wall. Because while you're getting a little extra bit of DPS, you are actually taking more damage. And the most important thing about this fight is keeping everyone topped up. So you're just, for the sake of doing about 2k DPS over the course of that cast, you're putting a bunch of extra work on the healers, and I'd rather not do that. So let's focus up. We'll run a ready check. And Jeffrey, if you want to do a right warlock portal, I will do a left warlock portal. So we're gonna run over to your side and do that. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Right.
What's really weird is your character is taller than mine, but your gate is smaller.
I know, it's weird.
Yeah, it makes me look like I'm compensating for something. I have no idea what the hell that's about. Alright, so let's, yep, it's not about the size of the gate, it's about the length of the cooldown. Alright, so let's start to move in. We're going to let Pigs do the countdown from 10, and here we go.
3, 2, 1.
Alright, so leech circles. Everyone stacked into this green circle. Everybody. Beams, please spread out. Good job. Much better, much better.
Please be careful about taking the beams in front. You almost hit a tank.
Okay, beams again. Please spread out. Oh, yeah, let's just gluttonous plasma. Sponge, bomb circles. Spread out. If your circle is huge, please pop a hellstone if you need to. Back in. Remember to hold hands. Just remember, people with those leech circles don't overlap beams. Everyone run out. Desolate is an ability that hits tanks, so if you're not a tank, you don't need to worry about it. Bomb circles are coming. Please spread out. Please spread out. Good job, everyone. Back in. Nice and smooth. Please don't stack the circles. Spread out a little bit. Beams. You need to spread those circles out a little bit. Consume outside of the room.
2, 1.
And back in. Okay, want to spread those circles out a little bit? Yeah, there we go. That's perfect. Good job. Beams.
3, 2, 1.
Okay, just keep those leech circles spread out a little bit, please. There we go. Good job. Bomb circles in 2 seconds, so just make sure you're topped up. Alright, spread out, spread out, spread out. Alright, back in.
3, 2, 1.
Beams. Bomb circles in 2. Make sure you're as topped up as you can be. Spread out, spread out, spread out. Good job. Back in. Beams in 5. Beams.
3, 2, 1.
Consume. Everyone out. Okay, back in. We're going to stack up behind the boss, and we're going to move that green circle. There we go. Everyone stack up on the triangle if you can see it. Beams, please.
2, 1.
Good job. Want to move those circles out a little bit. They're stacked up on each other. Thank you. Bomb circles in 5. Make sure you're topped up. Okay, spread out.
3, 2, 1.
Good job. Back to holding hands. Beams in 3. No battle reses yet, please.
3, 2, 1.
Bomb circles in 3. Please be aware. Okay, spread out, spread out, spread out. And back in.
3, 2, 1.
Beams. Good job. Stack back up. Consume. Outside the wall. Okay, when we come back in after this, I'm going to call the last once we're all stacked. Okay, so head back into the middle of the room. We're going to cluster up behind the boss. So if you want to head over to the symbols, there we go.
1.
And last, please. Beams. Alright, let's pull up a couple of people as battle reses allow. Healers, I'll let you make that decision.
3, 2, 1.
Okay, bomb cycles, please spread out. Good job, back in. Beams.
3, 2, 1.
Should be able to take him before the bomb circles go off. Yep, we got it. Good job.
Nice.
Hey, can I get a res?
Nice. Nice job, Max. Congrats.
Smoke, I have finally replaced the BOE belt that dropped in week 2.
Wow.
Thank you.
You're still tracing.
Congrats, my dude.
I'm gonna miss the indestructible, I'll tell you that much, just from a repair cost stance. Okay.
If you have any gear that you do not need, once again, come trade with me, and we'll have people roll for it. Also, excellent job. That was like a really, really good, just adjusting the strategy a little bit, listening to what Philnot said, because he's the man, and excellent job.
Yeah, very, very, very smooth, folks. But yeah, once you get, I think out of all the fights in Nathria so far, that one's the most rhythmic. So I think once you get into the pattern of just kind of moving in and out and stuff, and shaking it all about and stuff, then yeah, very good.
Well,
Transmog shout outs, by the way, to Esri. It's a great Christmas outfit.
And Pygmy.
And Pigs also.
Franny's got one too, as well as Mocha.
And you all.
Wonderful. Everyone, very good job.
Have a holly.
Wear it for as long as you want.
And it's the most rhythmic until we get to the boss that's actually literally rhythmic.
Yes, there will be dancing at some point. We're all going to be taking each other to the prom.
Anything special with these named?
Not hugely, although I found that in general it tends to be better to take down the people wearing the long coats. So for this one, we would be taking down Delpina on the right before we would be taking down Dragost. they just seem to do messier stuff in terms of trash behavior.
Understood.
So she'll draw from the anima container like that to empower herself, which is why it tends to be a little messier.
I'm so disappointed they nerfed my ability to reflect the warp desires.
Spell reflection should work on everything, in my opinion, including lethal and rage white mechanics.
Right?
Right.
That would kind of be awesome. Oh, look, it one-shot the boss.
Iron rubber, you are glue.
That would be so
Bounces off me and murdered your face.
Bye.
Perfect.
Alright, so we're gonna stick to the walls we run around just to avoid any oops, didn't mean to's, and we'll go grab. Cullen spelt an incredibly creative way, and Farah. So, the Star of Twilight first, please.
Or Pattinson?
Oh yeah.
I prefer to think of Cullen the Templar from Dragon Age.
There's X keys very, very well demonstrated. There's an AoE that drops on this one, so just off to the side like that. It's perfect. Thank you for being so on top of that. I appreciate it. If you don't know what Twilight is, just continue being that way. Just live your life.
Live your life.
It's really better you don't know.
I still read the book sometimes.
I read the book solely because if I was going to criticize something, I wanted to at least have read it.
I read the books.
Turns out AoE, so just try and stay out of that.
I can't
Concentrate on that.
move.
Yeah, you're fine. We'll move.
I read the books and got annoyed because they weren't really good, and so 11-year-old me went looking for other vampire books and found this
If you have this beam, come thread it through these orbs.
Right.
Thread it through. Like a needle and thread, put it through the beam. There you go. The orbs will disappear.
That's another hint of the fight mechanic. We'll talk about that in a minute. There we go. Okay, so we want to head back to the center of the room. Jeffrey, would you, for me, please place a warlock portal that goes roughly from where our group is over to the right pair of canisters? If you want to stick it between them, that would be great. And then I will do the same on the left.
Is a bold new future about to unfold. A future with no place for traitors like you.
Okay, so this is Lady Minerva Darkfang. This is our fourth boss. This is very exciting. So she's very interesting. One thing I will flag in advance as a technical thing, if you were running ELV UI, the traditional Blizzard UI for the way this fight works, because you're going to get an extra information box. If for any reason it looks like it's positioned slightly off the screen, that seems to be a UI bug. It still shows you the information you will need. So don't worry about having to change it, because ELV will lock itself during combat. So if it does appear slightly off the screen, because it's been doing that to me repeatedly in combat, don't worry too much. We're going to be calling stuff out. So as you can tell, there are 4 very, very big anima canisters from left to right. 2 on the left, 2 on the right. They are the central hub of this mechanic. They have various degrees of being full and not full, and over the course of the fight, they will fill up, and we will also be able to empty them. They have 3 stages. They are beneath 33% full, then they're between about 30, I think it's 35, and yeah, so hold on a sec. Yeah, so it's 0 to 33, 33 all the way up to 65 and then 66 plus. But basically, if you think of them as stage 1, stage 2, and stage 3, stage 1, they don't really do anything. Stage 2, the fight will gain a new mechanic based on which one is at which capacity. And then stage 3, it gains a higher difficulty version of that mechanic. Over the course of the fight, what's basically going to happen is we're going to assign people to essentially run over and empty those as and when we can. Occasionally, she's going to force fill one of them all the way to the 3rd level. There's nothing we can do about that. We can't drain it for a little while, but it basically forces us to go through a variety of different mechanics as a compulsory thing. However, the other 3 we can constantly be draining. When we're draining these 3 tanks, it kind of looks like it's raining. The whole raid's going to take some damage while we're draining them. So making sure that you're taking every opportunity to stand in AoE healing and doing things like that is ideal. Bandaging's not going to work because you're actually going to be taking ticking damage effectively, so it's going to cancel that bandage cast every single time you do it. Believe me, I try every time to cheekily bandage myself in fights, and it doesn't work here very well. So, there are 4 containers. Boss can gain and lose ability depending on the anima level in those containers. However, if any container does reach 100% full, it's going to pulse lethal raid damage and we're going to wipe. They do gain anima slowly over time, but occasionally she's just going to fill one up real fast by channeled casting it, and there's not much we can do about that. In terms of player interactions, people can drain it as long as it's not being focused by that channeled ability. So we'll essentially focus on the other 3 that aren't being force filled, and we'll try and keep those under control. On normal difficulty, it doesn't get too ridiculous. Raid Finder was confusing. A few of us kind of jumped in to see how it functioned, and on Raid Finder, the anima canisters basically seem to kind of drain themselves, which is a little bit strange and takes some getting used to. But on this one, it is actually a manual process, so we're going to need people to be doing that. As Smoke points out, we have to get rid of 25% of her health before that canister goes from where she's filled it to full. So if you're looking for a spot to pop DPS cooldowns, it's basically at the point at which she starts force filling a canister. We're going to need to start burning her down. Of course, we're going to have other mechanics to deal with. The reason this fight is complicated is a little like Huntsman Ultimore in that these canisters have different effects depending on which one is getting filled up. So let's go through them one by one. So the blue square, that one over there, has a series of abilities called Exposed Desires. When it's low, it's going to require a tank swap. What's going to happen is there's a 21-second dot that gets stuck on the tank, and it will fall off naturally over time, so she just needs to be tank swapped during that period. When it hits 33%, a random player is going to get a debuff that copies the damage being received by the tank. But when that dot falls off the tank through tank swapping, your dot will fall off as well. Essentially what that means is a random person is going to have a real bad day, and the healers are going to need to take care of them as well as the tanks. Yes, all of these abilities are very kinkily named. I'm going to be upfront about that now. So feel free to make all of the jokes that you would like. Just for now, do it without push talk. So Exposed Heart is a 66% ability. It basically, there's a giant explosion that does lethal damage when it expires. So essentially, it's gonna get slapped on the tank. So that tank's gonna need to taunt swap, and that tank's gonna need to run all of the way out of the raid group because the damage is lessened based on the distance between the tank and the group. So we will call that out. There's a lot of different abilities to call out here, so I'm gonna have to be keeping track of a bunch of different stuff, so bear with me. Second container from the left is Bottled Anima, which is a very creative name given it's 4 bottles of anima, but sure, whatever. So there's a weird ability called Always There. Essentially, it just she'll throw a bottle to the ground. If no one runs into it to soak the damage from it, it looks like a little red ring on the ground. So you just need one person to run into it and soak the damage. If nobody does and it goes off, the entire raid receives massive damage. You'll get moderate damage if you soak it. So essentially, if there's one person in it, it's fine. It's not shared amongst other players, so you just want one person to go in. You can't split it among 5 people. So if 5 people run in, you'll all take the same amount of damage as if it was just one person. So it's just one person will run out. We'll have to assign somebody for that. We'll go over that in a minute. So there's also lingering anima. So when it hits 33%, there's basically a permanent AoE that gets dropped on the ground along with that bottled anima ability. It's just a permanent AoE thing on the ground. There's not really anything we can do about it. We just have to avoid standing in it. Replicating anima is a 66% ability, which basically makes the bottle bounce. So it will hit the floor, it will drop that pair of AoEs, and then it will hit the floor again, and it will drop another pair of AoEs. So basically just kind of doubles the mechanic, which means that we'll need 2 people to soak the bottles. Effectively, the best way to do it is be proactive. If you see an empty circle, start running towards it. If someone gets there before you, just back off. And if you do need to do that twice, then we'll just have to have everyone keep an eye on it and call it out. I'm reluctant to assign that solely to one person, because then if that person dies, we're going to have to reassign that job in the middle of the fight, and that's not really going to be feasible. So, third bottle. This is a lot of information, by the way. We're going to learn this by doing, so please don't panic. I've already looked through this, and I'm like, this is a lot of stuff. But is lesser sins and suffering. Don't know if you're sensing a bit of a theme here. So this is the one that we were talking about with the mobs. So essentially, if I could grab Trough and Smoke as my demonstrators, we're going to head off to the left here. So there are going to be 3 red orbs that pop up in the room, and 3 of you are going to get a little red orb above you. So essentially, you need to pick a point in this triangle that it makes with beams running between those points in the triangle, and you need to form the triangle on the same point on the floor as the ability itself. So essentially, you're all going to get orbs, and then there's going to be 3 more orbs on the floor, like that. Yeah. So there's going to be beams between it, and you just basically want to form the same shape. And then once you've done that, it will go away. If we don't execute it, the whole raid takes damage, and it's pretty large amount of damage. So the initial version beneath 33% is there's no beam, so it's just three circles, and we all position ourselves. The second version is that there is a beam. So I'm loving that we're using a rainbow for this, by the way. So when there is a beam, if you pass through it, it's kind of like Spires of Ascension Mythic. If you run through the beam, you will take damage. So when you see people running around and positioning this, if you are somehow, for any reason, caught in the middle, just stay where you are. Don't run through it. Just stay put. Even if it means you can't do damage, just kind of stay put. It's not worth doing it if you're dead. And then from 66% anima, so the highest difficulty version of this, the beams are actually just going to actively rotate while we're doing it. So you're going to have to basically chase it and position it into this shape while it's moving, which is roughly as stressful as it sounds.
And what matters is the orb. You have to thread your beam through the orb. You can do it from far away. So if this was the orb, I could be standing way the fuck over here. As long as my beam is going through the orb, it's fine. You don't have to be close to it or anything. It's just a matter of the beam passing through the orb.
Yeah, it's a bit like, so it's all that I think describing it as threading is the best way to look at it. It's like threading a needle. So although infinitely less fiddly, at least if you're me, I'm terrible at threading needles. The rightmost container is the last one that gets activated. This one's a mob-based thing. So every minute or so, a 10-second dot is going to get dropped on 3 players, and upon expiration, it's going to explode, and it's going to summon 1 ad in its place in normal difficulty. So it's just the one. So we're going to get essentially 3 ads. Those 3 ads are just going to start pumping a cast. The cast can be kicked. It does a bunch of raid wedge damage if it's not, and they basically just need to be nuked to the floor. From 33% up, the players who receive that dot are going to get rooted. So if they get that version of it, you're going to have to run away from them because they can't run away from you, and then we're going to nuke those ads by default. And then at 66%, when that explosion goes off, in addition to the ads, there are several red orbs that get thrown all over the room. They hit people for heavy shadow damage. If you see a giant orb heading towards you, remember the 5Ds: duck, dip, dive, and dodge. So there are 2 types of ads that are going to come in. Conjured manifestations are the little ones. They look like little red goo monsters. They constantly channel an ability called Condemn, inflicts heavy raid damage. You can interrupt it, but it has to be done. They also can't move. So melee DPS, you're going to have to run towards them, unfortunately. There's going to be one big ad that needs to be prioritized called Harness Spectre. The thing about its condemn cast is if no one's in range of it, it will chain cast lethal damage on the entire raid. So we want to make sure that we always have someone at least in melee range. So what that means basically is that one tank is going to need to stay tanking the boss, and then the other tank is going to need to run over and start tanking this big red ad in the middle of the room. And and it's also going to, we're going to have to do an ability called Unconscionable Guilt, which is going to be shadow damage on that tank over time. It stacks, so effectively we're going to end up with a big ad, 3 small ads, and the boss. The tanks are going to have to swap between the boss and the big ad occasionally because they both have stacking tank swap abilities. It's going to get a little tricky. We're going to have to sort of figure out the positioning as and when we can. But the Harness Spectre does not move, and neither do the other ads, so we're going to need to be a little flexible. Essentially, what we want, if you can see this floor pattern is kind of like a bunch of diamonds. We're all going to try and stack within that sort of like the 4 diamonds that touch the front of this stage, if that makes sense. So like there, basically. And then hopefully that means that the boss and the mobs are all going to be constantly within reasonably easy range of each other for the tanks. So that was the largest list of mechanics I've ever read to all of you. I thoroughly apologize. But we're going to do a very quick recap, and then we're going to learn by doing, because it's a tricky fight, but we're going to figure it out over time. So I'm going to run through a quick recap, and then we're going to do a Q&A section, and then we'll be all good. So, leftmost container. There's going to be a bunch of tank swapping going on. When it hits 33%, someone's going to start gaining the same damage as the tank, and at 66%, there's going to be a big explosion. So when the tank gets it, they're going to need to run all the way out of the raid group. They explode and they come all the way back. The next one, bottled animal. The boss is going to throw a bottle on the floor. It's going to create an empty red ring. One person needs to run into that red ring, soak the damage. At 33%, it's also going to leave a permanent AoE. So we're still going to have to do all of that stuff. And at 66%, it's going to do that twice in one go. So we're going to have 2 red circles that people need to run into. Over on the right, we are going to have the thread the needle thing. We'll redo these gates in a second. So over on the right, we're going to basically be threading the needle. So 3 people are going to get those orbs. The first rank of it, they're just orbs. So we just thread them normally. The second rank, there are energy beams that damage people that connect those 3. And the third rank, they're going to start rotating around the room, which makes it more difficult. Last canister, someone gets a dot. After a certain period, those 3 people that get those dots are going to explode. They're going to create an ad. We're going to DPS those ads down. There's also going to be one big ad, and the tanks are going to swap between those as we DPS them down. So essentially, priority needs to be to interrupt the casts of the ads. We'll get rid of the, we'll nuke the big one, and then we'll get rid of the little ones. Interrupts are key. So if you see one that looks like it isn't being interrupted, please run over and interrupt them. Do we drop off the ads by the tanks? We can do. Generally, we want to cluster them close together. The tricky thing about it is the explosion damage is what makes it difficult. Because if we essentially all stack and drop them, those 3 people are almost definitely going to die to getting hit by 3 explosions at once. So we're going to need to kind of distance ourselves a little bit. They don't have as much health as you think they do. The big one has more health than everything else. So we're going to get rid of the 3 little ones. So we go from 4 interruptible casts down to 1. And then we'll pop DPS cooldowns and we'll DPS the last one down.
So DPS the small ones before the large ones?
Yeah, I would do that solely because you've got 4 interruptible casts, and we want to get that number down as fast as possible so we can all share the job of interrupting the one big guy.
And when the tanks need to during the exploding phase, you can run backwards to the red X to drop off your exploding, and then come back because I think we'll be tanking it on the moon.
So in the videos, I've kind of seen her tanked more towards this space.
Yeah.
Rather than the moon. I mean.
Oh, I see. Okay, yeah.
I'm cool to do it near the moon. Just saying. I think that's where I've seen her tanked most often. And I think it ends up there, but we can put her near the moon to start with, and we might end up moving a little bit.
Yeah, we'll experiment a little bit with placement. My only concern about the X, why I think it's a really good idea, is I also want to make sure that we've got people that are running over to all the other symbols to like unlock bottles, and we've got healing, and I want to try and avoid any kind of like line of sight issues. I don't trust the braziers on the left or right to not do funny things to line of sight. So we'll try tanking her towards the X, and then healers if it starts. Oh, sorry, go on.
No, I meant tank on the moon. I just meant I might have said it wrong. The tanks get an ability where when they do the tank swap, at some point it explodes when it drops off of them, so they can run that explosion back to the X so that it's away from everybody and won't hit everybody, since we'll be way out here by the moon.
Yep.
Makes sense.
Okay, so in terms of letting the anima out of the bottles, Smoke, what were your thoughts on doing this? 'Cause I know we've had some conversations about how you wanted to do it.
I can watch the right side. If we can have Sun watch the left side. That's how we were originally going to do it. We do have only 4 healers, but we should be fine. Do we want to take a quick 5-minute break before this, by the way?
How's everybody feel? Do you need a bit of a breather after that? Or are you good? Sure.
Yeah, let's do a 5-minute.
We'll take a little break, and then we'll come back, do a brief recap, and then we'll start figuring it out.
Back in a minute.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
All right, let's get ready check running, and we'll make sure everyone's back. Missing food on a few people. It looks like potentially priest buff.
Here, mortals. I know a passage that leads back to the antechamber.
Welcome to the Golden Corral.
Oh no, we're all gonna get sick.
Gold Star Buffet.
You mean the COVID corral?
Oof.
Hey, we're social distancing.
No, we're not.
We're in a goddamn mosh pit.
Yeah.
The good news is Rona hasn't mutated yet to the point where it can infect digital players.
Very true.
Exactly.
Keyword being yet.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Do we want to run one more ready check? Because I'm missing at least one person, I think.
Don't forget to have your flask if you haven't. Most people should have a second one by now.
All right. I'm going to put my gate back up.
It's gonna be a fun fight, y'all. Don't be intimidated. We'll just take it one step at a time, learn the mechanics, and we'll get this shit down.
As someone that used to have long, very thick Greek hair, I identify with that very closely. Paintbrushes were sore. Paintbrushes? Hairbrushes. Holy shit.
If you're brushing them with paintbrushes, I think I found your problem.
That's very reasonable, and I accept that. Okay, so, yeah. Like Smoke says, there's a bunch of different mechanics going on. We're going to call them out. Try not to worry too much. This really is a learn by doing fight. I mean, like, every single one of these canisters has like a boss's worth of mechanics sitting in it. just remember that we are inevitably going to get pretty much the final phase of all 4 of them when she force fills them. There's not really much we can do about that, but by letting out all the other canisters over time and by staying on top of that, it just means that we shouldn't be getting the worst versions of any of the rest of them over that period. And then, yeah, for Lust, we will aim for sort of a late play, sort of the equivalent of phase 3. Yeah.
Brief question. I apparently have Swiss cheese brain. What are we doing about the draining the canisters?
I'm going to take the right side. Sun's going to take the left side, and we'll be watching those. If we have trouble, we'll probably enlist a couple of the hunters to help us. But for now, since he and I are co-raid leaders and aren't going to be watching the stuff anyway, it's easy enough for us to know when it's best to do it, because as healers, we'll know like if we have the healing ability to heal through the draining of the tanks, because when they're drained, they do AoE damage. So,
okay,
for now.
Yeah, because it just means that the people are going to have to fix the raid wave damage or some of the people that are controlling it, so it doesn't catch the healing team completely unawares. Alright, so tank swapping, we're going to learn about a bunch of different mechanics. This could go swimmingly, this could go terribly, but we're going to learn a bunch of shit either way, so I'm excited. Let's and as I said, I don't know if people missed it on break, we have killed 3 raid bosses, which means if you've never had a raid vault slot open for you before it reset, you do now. So, congratulations on that.
Awesome.
The trick shot is basically going to be, if we can get this down, if you want to dive into LFR and do another 3 bosses, you'll end up getting 2 vault slots. So, you know.
I think you have to do different bosses.
Oh, really? Do they not stack?
It's Blizzard, of course not.
Yeah.
We'll have to test that theory. I'm gonna do a test.
Yeah, I think mine was past 3 when I did LFR at the same time, but I could be misremembering. It would help if I wasn't doing LFR at 3 a.m. really, wouldn't it?
All right, hitting countdown.
All right, let's go. So so you can see the bars on the right hand side of your screen that will show you how full everything is. We'll be keeping an eye on those. Okay, red circle. There we go, soaked. You just got to stay in it until it goes off. There we go, good job. Okay, red orbs. If you got a red orb, just be ready to thread it. So just match that shape.
Opening first
Good
container.
job.
Oh shit, it's locked.
Firmino, yours isn't exactly threaded.
2, 1.
The line, there you go.
There we go. We go. Okay, run out of the group.
You're gonna have to do the second one, Son. The second
Okay,
one.
we got red circles on the ground. We want to soak those. Need one person in them. Good job. Okay, everyone switch. Yeah, it was that mob that got us. And beams. So make the shape.
Both tanks are down.
Yeah, okay. Let's reset.
Sorry, I realized my mic was off.
No, you're fine. I think we got 2 mechanics simultaneously, which, while we're learning this fight, is something we weren't really prepared for. Yeah, that Spectre is super mean, so we're going to have to be on top of that.
And I exploded while I was grabbing him.
Yeah, getting 2 of them at once is unpleasant.
So how, when we've got a tank swap on Exposed Desire, tank swap for Explodey and for the big red guy with 2 tanks. How the hell do we do that?
Yeah.
Basically, what they say is if you follow the tank swap for the main boss, it should be enough for the other ones too. The problem is that the exploding part, you're going to have to take the ad with you, but you can't. It stays in place. So for that short amount of time, we're kind
Hit
of
on the left door.
shit up. Yeah, we're shit out of luck. The only thing is, if you bring the ad up towards the tanks, that's the best thing to do.
But you can't bring that ad anywhere, so.
Yeah, no, before it drops off of you, basically. Once they get the little thing saying that the ad is gonna drop, they should be able to bring it to you, but not on the very, very last part of that phase. Anytime before that only.
And what's the explosion one called again for tanks?
It's the same debuff. It's just when that first anima container is after 66% full, when the debuff falls off of you, it will explode. But it's just the same debuff. It's not any different. It's based on how much.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just based on how much anima is full in the container.
Well, his DBM wasn't calling anything out on it either, so I'm trying to. My.
No, and I was trying to call it, and my mic was off because I'm a big dummy. I just got a new one, and I'm not used to how it works yet.
It doesn't help. My sleep-deprived brain is also trying to wrap my head around this too. So.
Well, if nothing else, this is a really good practice, and then we'll do what we did last time and come in and own it the next time. Either way, we'll see a lot of the different mechanics in each phase and then get through it. So because all of the mechanics that are below 33% go on during the entire fight. None of them go away because we can't drain them all to 0 at the same time. So we're always going to have the little red circles. We're always going to have the threading of the thing. You're always going to have the tank swap, etc. So the thing that we have to learn is how to deal with the enraged parts, which is the hardest parts. And so we just have to get through those one by one. But it's fine. We'll get it.
Sorry.
Yeah, so the other thing somebody's asking me is if you get that circle where it's going to drop off the ad, run it to the tanks. Just everybody else be aware and don't be standing in their circle, because when the ad drops off, it'll do damage. But you want it to be up close because the tanks cannot move the ad, and one of them needs to be close to it at all times or it'll start doing a pulsing melee. So if you get that red circle around you saying there's going to be an ad dropping off of you, run it up to the tanks, kind of off to the side a little bit. Maybe I'll put a marker. But again, don't do it so that if you see somebody doing that, don't stand in. So maybe like right there, drop your little ads off, and then nobody else stand there unless you're dropping your ad off on the skull.
Yeah, one thing I do want to point out actually was really good job on running into the little bottled anima circles. Everyone was really on top of that, which was great. We're seeing a lot of really creative use of, druids starting into cat form, and then people also like checking each other and like making sure one person ran in and things like that. That was really great. It's basically, this is more like I don't know how much sense this is going to make to most people, but it's more like an old school WoW raid fight in that people have to kind of maintain a high sense of independence. So you kind of have to monitor and see if there's like a job to be done, just kind of independently making sure that people are doing it, which is exactly what people were doing, which is great. But what you will notice actually is that she doesn't actually have like that big a health pool. The reason for that is to balance out the fact that there's so much stuff going on. Okay, so let's run a ready check. And yeah, cube clicking is the word.
Yeah, and remember that you don't have to stand on the orb. You just need one of your beams that's running to you to thread through the orb. It can be either way. Just stand on the side of the orb so that the actual beam is threading right through it.
Yep. Which also means you can get some distance, and what that'll do in the later stages where there's a beam connecting those orbs is it will create like a slightly elongated shape. So it means that beam is less likely to, thread right through the raid group, which is also helpful.
All right, you ready to go?
Yep. Let's figure it out.
We both said the same thing, though. Yep.
All right. Anima container number 1. So we've got bottled anima coming up in 2, so we're going to get the little red circles.
Alright, swap.
Okay, good job. We got the beam in 2, so if you get an orb, just remember to make the shape. Okay, there are the orbs. So we just want to have people make that shape. Make sure you're threading it through. Good job.
3, 2, 1.
Concentrated anima cast. Oh, that's that big circle. Yep, so you just want to run out.
Run it up to the skull. Run it to the skull. Run it to the skull. There you go. You want it to drop right there.
Alright, nuke that boss. Make sure it gets interrupted. The ad.
I've got the ad.
Got her.
Okay, taunting the boss.
Drain.
We're about to blow up.
Alright, okay, orbs, get ready to make the shape.
Okay. Alright, I've got 1 stack. We're gonna need to taunt swap in a sec.
Yep, I got a couple seconds left on mine.
Okay.
Bottled anima is coming up. Okay, red circles. Make sure someone's in one. Good job.
Right, I'm draining the first one. Each cooldowns.
Okay.
3, 2, 1.
I'm about to blow up.
Okay, I've got 2 stacks. Swap on your back.
Okay, coming. Grabbing.
Bottled anima is coming up, so just be on the lookout for little red circles. Okay, we've got an ad coming up, so just keep an eye out on the right for the skull. And swap targets.
Clean up the ad.
I got the boss.
Nuke that spectre and make the shape, folks. Use your health stones if you need to. Good job. Ad is down. Make sure you're making that shape. Good job.
Swap.
Okay, bottled anima. Make sure you're in those circles. Try not to stack in them.
3, 2,
2 stacks.
Swapping.
Beam coming up. Alright, start running to the skull. Gruel to the skull. Not to the back of the room.
To the skull, Gruel. To the skull. Run.
You're all good. Alright, get ready to nuke this boss. The ad, rather. On the right. There we go. Go grab it. Yeah, we'll vent that thing as soon as possible. Beams.
I've got 2 stacks if we get swapped.
Okay, coming to swap.
Opening up container 2.
Okay, we've got more red circle.
This is where we lost.
Okay, hit lust. If you need to drain life, use pots, anything like that to keep yourself up during this phase, that's good. Just be aware there's a lot of area in the ground to make the shape. I'm down.
Got 2 stacks.
Taunting.
Okay, we've got the ad coming up on the right side of the room. We need to make that shape.
Picking up the ad.
Okay.
Nuke the ad, please. Yeah, the shape's still up. Oh, it's gone. Okay.
I'm down.
Yeah, we'll
okay.
we'll wipe it. That was a lot better. There's just a lot of stuff going on at one time.
That phase 3 is where it gets a little crazy, but that was not bad.
You're bad.
Look how low her health is, y'all. 35%. 10 more percent, and we're out of that phase, and we're on to the easiest phase. So keep it up.
Definitely tell that I was taking some unnecessary damage by standing in shit, so I think a good chunk of that was on me, too.
Remember, there's this gate over here?
The part of the problem with the AoE in sort of like the Revendreth themed bosses, and this is a problem I've noticed when we've been doing Sanguine Depths as well, is that AoE on the ground tends to blend in with the floor a lot more, I find, because it kind of looks like just a bunch of scratches.
Yeah.
Yeah, the black and red doesn't help.
Yeah, having brown with a red AoE on top of it that's also black with black underneath on the texture is really, really not helpful.
It's like an edgy
But as
13-year-old
Smoke
designed
said,
the dungeon. It's like an edgy 13-year-old designed the dungeon.
Which is totally my aesthetic. I get it.
yeah, as someone whose house is actually decorated in a significant amount of Halloween stuff 12 months of the year, I definitely do enjoy it. It's a little babby goth. But
the other weird thing is with one of the hunters, some of them now using tar trap, that tar residue that it leaves on the ground also looks like the shit that the boss puts on the ground.
yeah, one thing that was going really well actually was dealing with that big ad. That thing dies so fast every time. You're all doing so well on that. I was really, really pleased.
You might need a repair bot.
I got it. And running it to the skull was excellent. Everybody doing that made it so much easier. So really good job. Keep that up.
I'm gonna call out whoever gets the skull by name, as I think that helps. Not because I think that you're gonna fuck it up if you don't get called out by name, just because sometimes I find it helps. Because I don't know about you, but when I'm trying to focus on like 5 different mechanics, sometimes I do genuinely miss that there is a thing above my head, especially if I'm stacked on top of other people. So I'll call out the skull by name and we'll go with that. But yeah, we're doing really well. Like Smoke said, we had that to 30-something%. So.
Also, maybe I missed it. What is the ability that does the red and black thing on the ground? Is there any way that we can put it somewhere safe, or it's random?
It's random. It's the bottled anima. It's like the slightly upgraded version of it leaves a permanent AoE behind. So when we run into that little red circle,
it stays there.
Yeah, it's a pain in the butt.
Okay.
Something that I noticed towards the end there was the druid circle was on top of all the AoE, and I think we were all trying to stand there, and it just killed a ton of us.
I'll try and move it off to one of the sides as it gets as we get more AoE stacked.
Yeah,
it's a little harder because I'm trying to watch these anima containers, but we got this.
Yeah, sometimes the tricky bit is like. Sorry, go on.
I didn't want to call it out because it was pretty hectic at that point, but if that's something that we can look out for, I think it'll be a lot more helpful.
Yeah, sometimes it just gets stuck on a person where you're like, that's unfortunate because they're already doing 3 other things. But yeah,
I also want to say in between the beams. Like
I'm really enjoying all the classical music, by the way.
Oh, that's TV in the background.
Yeah, just every time you talk, there's like lovely classical music in the background. Makes your feedback sound like really fancy and distinguished. But yeah, sometimes unfortunately, we do have certain people doing multiple jobs. So if you do get hit with an extra mechanic, we'll try and compensate as best we can. But yeah, we'll figure it out. One thing that I did notice is that the damage from draining the containers is a little higher than I thought it would be. So yeah, we're just gonna have to. Obviously, the healers are here to heal you, but just even if you got I know Jeffrey and I have drain life as an equivalent ability, but essentially just an ability to sort of try and top ourselves up or use any kind of damage mitigation during those phases. It's really, really important. Because I find that if it drains you down to about 50% and then you step through a beam or you walk onto a bottled anima puddle, you're basically gone, which is what happened to me. I got 2 things at once and it just obliterated me.
With the shape, is that what you were talking about? It's off to the right, you can't see it.
It's so when you get 3 orbs above your head, everyone has to make a shape. The only time it's really gone wrong, one issue I had is that if 2 of us run to the same corner, one of us then needs to compensate, and that 5 seconds you spend running is a bunch of extra damage above 33% on that VAT. So
the shape just always a triangle,
Yeah, I mean it's always 3 points, so it's always going to form a triangle shape.
Let me do a thing real quick. If someone else could put down a guild banner anywhere. So I've got one here, go in there. Okay, cool. So let's see. I'm gonna pick somebody.
So it's the red ball. You run to the red ball. Everybody runs to a red ball that's on the ground.
So no, here I'm gonna do this with Failnot. So Failnot, you and we have the beams. We want these beams to go through the banner. See how it's through it? It's not on the side, it's not anything. It has to go directly through the banner. So if you're on the side like this even, that's fine too. See how the second one is going through the banner? You don't have to stand on the red circle. You just have to get your beam that's on you to go through that banner.
Yeah. Yeah, so if you
clear it once all three are threaded through all 3 orbs, you're good and it'll clear the orbs. But while the orbs are up, they're pulsing AoE, so that has to be cleared as soon as possible. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Yeah, it's a tricky thing because occasionally, like what would happen with me was I was running towards one orb, so was somebody else, and I think we both simultaneously went, "Oh no, they're running towards the one I'm running towards," and then we both started running towards the other one.
yeah. I had to on the first one. I had to fair rush away because I was running towards one that was already taken.
Yeah. Okay. Let's give this another shot. I think it's going pretty well so far, to be honest. But yeah, just damage mitigation and just watching your feet. There's a lot more AoE in this fight, and it's doing a lot more damage over time to people. So I think that combined with the draining of the canisters can be really lethal. I'm finding somewhat. Obviously, every class will have equivalent abilities, but I'm finding somewhat I'm just leaning off DPS and leaning into damage mitigation and draining life and stuff just for a few minutes, just to sort of take myself back up. Minutes, about 10 seconds. But yeah, aside from that, killing off that ad's going really, really well. That was genuinely my biggest fear in this fight, was that was going to become a real struggle, but we're absolutely obliterating it. Partially because we don't need to wait for 20 stacks of CC bullshit before we can do it, which is very refreshing. All right, let's run one ready check and then we'll run it. Perfect.
I just noticed my oil is off, which means probably a few of you have your oil off as well. So go ahead and stick that back on. Either the Shadow Core oil or the Embalmer's oil, and if you don't have one and need some, just let us know. Especially the Embalmer's oil, it'll do some healing to you right now. We need all the healing we can get.
Yep. Also, if you're ever missing enchantments or anything like that, you need anything specific, either during tonight or between raids and stuff, you get a new weapon or anything like that, especially the weapons, because we can put some really, really good enchantments on them now. Just ping one of the officers, and if it's not in the guild bank, either myself or Smoke can literally just go make it, and we'll mail it to you, and you can stick it on your stuff.
Yeah, I usually spam the whole day of the raid, so I know a bunch of you got them from me earlier. But during the raid, I've done a few too, so don't ever hesitate.
Yeah, you're all good.
Alright.
That's what we're here for.
Hitting countdown.
Let's do this.
This stuff all looks like Kool-Aid when I think about it.
Yeah.
Alright, let's go. We can just burn for a little bit here. First bottled anima in about 3 seconds. Alright, bottled anima is up somewhere. Oh, there's a second. Thank you.
Taunting.
Beam is coming, so just be aware. Alright, make that shape. There we go. Alright, we need one person on the right hand side. There we go.
Haunting.
Concentrated anima in 3, so if you get a skull.
1.
Okay, Truff, up to the skull.
2 stack.
I'll taunt. You take the ad that's coming up.
Bottled anima. There we go. Okay, add.
Okay. Taunting the boss.
Good job. Make the shape. Get ready.
Drain 2, drain 2. Hurry up, drain 2.
Make the shape. Someone on the right, please.
We're a little behind on the drain because the drain didn't get down all the way, so we don't have quite as much time for this. So pop your cooldowns and get her.
Opening second or first thing.
1.
Okay, bottled anima. Thank you.
Need to blow up.
Alright, Crowley, up to the skull. Top yourselves up if you need to. Okay, get ready, switch to the ad, and switch. Make that shape. Top right, someone needs to be on the top right.
On it.
Good job.
Taunting the boss.
Staying on it.
Adds down. Back on the boss. Just watch for that AoE on the floor on the right side there.
Thank you.
Bottled anima. Everyone, you want to move out that red shape if it's too many of you.
I got her.
We got one at the back. Good job.
3, 2, 1.
Okay, we're going to get a shape. Okay, Firmino, Lion, Smoke. On shape.
Taunting.
Thank you.
Great job on that. Okay, animal bottles on the floor. Need someone in there. Thank you very much.
Bless.
Great job, Firmino.
This is the hardest phase. We can get through this when we got this.
2 stacks.
Taunt.
Alright, Ezri, you want to move to the skull?
Picking up the app.
Okay.
LA DPS, want to make sure you're out that red. Switch to the ad, please.
Drain number 2. Don't let it get that high.
Alright, make the shape. Pop your hellstones in your pots if you need them. We're going to take a bunch of damage.
Grabbing the
I'm
boss.
trying, but this is.
Somebody's got to get this back.
Yeah.
Who's got the shape?
She's dead. I'm rezzing.
Okay. It looks like it expires eventually by its own. Alright. Pop your hellstones in your pots, you got them. Okay, shape is back up.
3, 2, 1.
Keep an eye out for bottled anima on the floor. Okay, move to the skull. Yep, great job, Crowley.
Okay, I'm at 2 stacks. I'm gonna
Got
take
it.
the ad.
Switch the ad, please. Use your damage mitigation beams. I'm going to head to the back one. Good job.
2 stacks.
Ranking.
Alright, let's start V-resing people.
We don't have any. I had to use them for people
Okay.
that. Get the circles. Good.
3, 2, 1.
Okay.
Stacks.
Ezri, you want to move to the skull? Oh, you locked in place? Okay, we're going to have to deal with the ad there.
Okay, I'll come pick it up.
Okay, deal with the ad. Make the shape if you got it. Everyone else deal with the ad. Watch that beam.
Pop your health stones. Do what you can.
Yep.
I got it.
Get that ad down.
Okay.
Take it down.
Okay, she's at 13%.
Got a battle res, but not for a couple minutes. So we just gotta
Okay, the ad is on
ready.
Jeffrey.
I can't. Can I take it? I
Oh,
gotta keep the
Kobe
ad.
go bear form. Kobe go bear form and take it. Or Lion's Mane. Lion's Mane can too. Whatever.
Everyone on the ad, please. DPS cooldowns to get that ad down. Make sure to interrupt.
The boss. Kill the boss. We're gonna wipe.
Shape. Yeah, there we go.
3, 2.
They hit 100% on that last anima bottle, but fuck if we don't have this. That was amazing. Really good job, guys.
Yep, very, very good.
That was yeah.
My heart's racing.
Whew.
So close.
7 minutes and 13.
Left hand mirror.
Yeah.
Don't forget this repair guy at the start.
I can put it by if we need to.
Okay, yeah, if you want to stick these down at the bottom, we'll do that.
Yeah, I'll do that.
Specifically for really smart people like me that ran through the portal before thinking about repairs. Ezri, if you're talking on Discord, I think you may be muted because I can't hear you. Ah, okay. Technically, you're marked as being on constant push to talk on Discord in the corner of my screen, so I was just making sure you weren't trying to tell us something important.
Hey guys, since we have a moment, I want to remind y'all that someone made an awesome itch game where you can just practice the mechanics for various bosses on Castle Nathria.
Yeah, I've been using the Mythic Trap has one for Mists, the dungeon.
Mm-hmm.
For the little like flower and leaf symbols, and I sat for like 5 minutes just testing myself, and since then I've been a lot better at that.
Also, instead of Castle Nathria, it's called Castle Pineapplea.
That's renamed now.
Yeah, and all the bosses are fruit themed.
By the way, I wanted to quickly ask, Warlock Gates, obviously we're sticking them up between the vats and stuff, but that's not actually that useful. I'm was kind of wondering, like tanks, DPS, anyone, like, is there anywhere that would be useful that you're struggling to get to for teleports? I was kind of wondering about the back of the room for people that have orbs on them. Like if one person used to run to the back.
So something I noticed that like people are running to, it's the skull, you know? Like that's the thing that I've seen people run to.
Yeah, that's very true. Alright, well we can stick a gate on that. Hold on. Actually, we could put 2 gates on it. I could like go over to like the left side here and then stick one down, and you could go over to the right, and it means wherever someone gets stuck, they can just kind of run over.
Yeah, because I feel like everywhere else, it's just wherever, you know. That's the only place that we're like constantly running to. You know what I'm saying?
All right, feast is up. Make sure you're getting your food buff. Just check your oils and your armor bits and all that other good stuff.
Oh yeah, I need another one of the stam patches. Armor kits, that's it.
But yeah, I do really want to call out, by the way, how good everyone is doing on this. Like, it's a really complicated fight, and we're all like constantly working stuff out. And I don't mind if you're chipping in on, like, people are chipping in on Discord. I know sometimes it's very tempting to be very quiet, but I do actually appreciate people saying, you know, hey, I'm headed this way. I'm just like having a bit of trouble and stuff. That's really helpful.
Yeah.
Don't feel bad about calling stuff like that out, because I would rather hear it than not know.
And I think I got unlucky having an orb near me, but a puddle of bad stuff beneath me. I'm like, how do I?
Yeah, we were talking a little bit earlier and off to chat about the fact that like we were assigning people to like draining the stuff and like doing all these different jobs, but sometimes people get hit with like 2-3 mechanics at the same time, and it's like, well, shit. It's hard to compensate for that, but I think we're all doing the best we can. And I want to point out that our first attempt we got to 30 something, and our second attempt we got it to like 18, 17. Mm-hmm. So yeah,
also,
we
you
have
don't
the
have
capacity.
to be close to the orb. As long as it's threaded, you can be 10 feet away, 20 feet away, whatever. So you don't be afraid to move away as long as you're threading one of the orbs.
Yeah, true. Just the beam.
Yeah,
exactly.
it's a tricky thing. I find it helps to think of it as almost like a line of sight thing.
Yeah.
So I'm just like trying to aim it like a line of sight thing and trying to get myself out of the habit of just running and standing on top of it. Because I found standing on top of it or standing next to it, like sometimes if I'm like 5 yards to the right or I think I'm in range, it isn't despawning when I feel like it should be. So I'm trying to just sort of FPS it essentially and just sort of aim through.
Just do the orb wiggle. Wiggle near it,
basically.
Yeah. But yeah, no.
But I tried. But yeah, I can further back. It's true. I can walk back. Yeah.
I think cool. I would also say if this guild has like one really, really big strength in addition to learning mechanics, it's also the fact that all of you are really good at like, oh, I can't get there in this normal way. And then like I'm watching all of you as we're doing it to make sure that people are doing certain stuff, and I'm constantly watching people improvise. Like Crowley got hit with a really badly timed dot that meant that they were going to be the person that spawned the ad, and I just watched a rapid fire. Right, well, I'm going to blink onto the skull, and I'm going to deal with the mechanic that way. Or I was watching people activate sprint mechanics to get into the bottled anima. Like stuff like that is great. You're doing really well. So yeah, I'm pleased. Let's run a ready check, and we'll give this another shot.
Would we like a prayer?
I think we just need we'll get a prayer as well. We just need a run of, I think, intellect and fort buffs, and we should be good.
Oh, one small question also for Demon Hunter. Should I keep my metamorphosis at the beginning, or should I wait till we last?
I would wait.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah, because I think honestly, as a DH player myself, like I would wait until you need a bit more damage mitigation. So if you're finding that you're hovering around like 40-50 in a later phase, and then we're like releasing anima and there's stuff on the floor and everything, like the extra barrier and health can help a lot.
Sweet, perfect, thank you.
Well, and sometimes that jump is really useful to get somewhere quick.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did that. I did that to the enemy.
All right, everybody / Neil. We're gonna do an RNGesus player. We're gonna run.
Ahem, hem, hem, hem. Hello, RNGesus. We come back to you after a lovely holiday week off, and we are asking for your assistance. This lady has some very suggestively named jugs, and we would like to smash her jugs and drain all of the anima and just make a huge mess everywhere. And we know that you are into this kind of thing because you're a weird, sick fuck. Otherwise, why would all of the mechanics be called this? We know you can help us. We just need that little bit of extra, that little 8%. We let chaos reign. Amen. And Ayo.
I
think that was my favorite out of all the ones I've heard.
Smash the jug. Smash the jug.
Yeah, no, that's what I was gonna say. It's kind of weird because I normally like jugs and don't like smashing them.
All right, let's do it.
We're a mess.
What were y'all thinking of?
Extremely horny on main guild.
Like finding glasswork and ceramic.
All right, Discord clear. We're gonna pull. All right, so we're gonna burn a little bit. First bottled anima is coming up in 5. Bottled anima is up, so we just want to be on the lookout.
2 stacks.
Whoa, yeah, you can't run out of that at the last minute. Because it does massive raid-wide damage. Okay, shapes are up. Okay, beam, make the shape. Need someone over on the left. Good job. Alright, just thread it. Needs to be threaded. There we go.
3, 2, 1.
Bold anima again. Alright, Ezri, over to the skull. Get ready to change targets relatively soon. And change targets.
Yep.
Just remember, if that bold anima is on the floor, do not run out of it at the last minute if you're the only one in there.
When the bosses come back.
Okay, and down. Okay, we've got a shape coming up. Someone be ready to run to the back. I'm going to run to the back. Good job.
Stacks.
21st container.
Okay, container is venting. Just kind of watch your health. If you get hit by another thing at the same time, remember to pop a health stone so you don't die.
1.
Bottled anima in 3. Alright, concentrated anima over there. Good job. And just be mindful, we're going to be switching targets in a second.
I'm gonna go pick up
And
the
switch
ad.
targets.
I have one.
Got her.
Got the ad.
Okay, get ready to make the shape if you get your orb. Okay, smoke, throw it as thwacky.
I got moon.
Really good, great job.
Haunting. Nice, I even got the killing blow.
There you go. It's all about that PvP. Bolt anima coming. It's over on the right side. We need someone in there. Thank you.
3, 2, 1.
Concentrate anima coming in. Move out the AoE. There's an AoE under us. Okay, we need to run that skull.
Picking up the app.
Get ready to pick that ad up. And nuke the ad. Just watch for AoE on that ground melee. And make the shape.
Okay, picking up the boss.
Less.
Yep. Thank you.
Opening second container.
I got.
Okay, make sure you're in that anima circle. Okay, we've got quite a bit of AoE in the middle now, so just watch your feet.
Got her.
Okay, beams are coming out. We've got one all the way at the back of the room.
Should we move the skull?
Okay, we've got someone who's on the shape died, so don't worry. It's going to fade by itself, but we're going to get another spell. Okay, get ready to switch targets for the ad.
I got 2 stacks.
Pig's got the ad. I've got
Okay. DPS the ad down, please. DPS cooldowns. Move back, whereas Grulgar, please. Or Ezri.
I grabbed Ezre's.
Okay, the beams are now rotating, so you just gotta watch.
Use your cookies and your cool.
Yep, we're inevitably gonna get hit by something. Damn, we need someone in those circles.
Pig is down.
Yep.
Sorry, couldn't get there in time.
2, 1.
I think one of the difficult things is that when people are getting shape duty effectively, if they die on the way there, there's not always a lot we can do about that because unfortunately it's just getting hit with multiple things at the same time. The big thing is just keeping an eye on your health as much as you can. And then also, one of the big issues with the start of that fight was we had someone who ran into a red circle by themselves and then ran out right at the last minute. So we want to avoid that. No, it's fine. It's something that we're not always going to think about, but we just want to make sure that we don't do that.
Yeah, that drained a lot of healer mana real early on, so we got this.
Yeah, we'll figure it out. Yeah, Mark is right. So as the fight goes on, that drop-off point is going to have to change, because I think by the second spawn, the area was getting a little crowded, which obviously doesn't affect some of us, but for the melee DPS and the tank is very, very difficult.
Yeah, for some reason they kept dropping the bottle over there.
Yeah, which is super fun.
I think the place where the bottle is dropped is not totally random. I think it's often like not far from like where people are standing. Like I think what it does is like targets a random person and just moves it.
It sets a distance
away from them. Yeah.
Yeah. So what it does is it targets a random person and then it will spawn that AoE within a reasonable running distance of at least 1 or 2 people, I think. But yeah, what Mark says is right. So we have like the skull or the moon, and then so we'll move people to the skull. Once that area fills up with AoE, we'll start having people shift to the star
maybe?
instead.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay. So this is going to be our last attempt for the evening. Just to try and keep us to time because we're about 3 hours. So make sure you eat, and we'll give it all we've got.
Yeah, I think.
Just FYI, we'll probably be doing next week the bosses that we have down, so through Blueberry on Wednesday again, to give us full raid time to get as many bosses down on Sunday. So if you're able to make it on Wednesday, great. If you're not, don't worry. We're going to save the progression for Sunday. So feel
Yep.
free to hug on Tuesday if you're not going to make it with us on Wednesday.
One thing that's going to really help every reset is there is a goal to do like 4 mythic dungeons. The chest that comes from doing 4 mythic dungeons contains heroic Nathria gear. So I level 213. It makes a really, really big difference. So if you get time to do those, just knock out those 4 mythics, and it counts even if it's mythic 0. So genuinely at any point during this week, if you need folks to run with, so you're not, pugging that or anything, just flag an officer, grab us, we'll come along, we'll help get you through it.
Mm-hmm.
It's actually only plus.
Is it only plus?
We have checked.
Yeah, because it didn't give us it to us that first week. Remember when we all had done a bunch of zeros?
Oh, that's
it wouldn't
unpleasant.
give us the
That's weird.
chest. It only gives it to you on. It gives you on +2
Okay.
at least. But,
Yeah, +2 's
but
worth.
not 0.
Okay.
I thought that was the vault, but the quest was
Yeah, the quest.
Yeah, that
is
was the
zeros.
quest.
Yeah,
Yeah.
The quest is 0s, but the quest is only like once every 6 weeks or something.
Okay, so it's not on a weekly reset.
Yeah, so just
Mm-mm.
burn a bunch
Yeah,
of +2s.
This week is the pet battle one.
Nobody likes the pet battle one.
That's
Alright.
not true.
I'm going to have to correct you there. Unfortunately, Jeffrey had a very good time, but mainly because I'm DPS, so it's the only time I've ever seen like a sub 1 minute queue. So
I'm going to hit a ready check.
okay, just a priest buff to go. Thank you.
I actually kind of sort of like pet battling. It's just I feel like leveling them is a pain, and also you don't get any meaningful rewards out of it. Like in terms of like gear or stuff.
That's fair. All right, let's get ready.
One thing is
Sure.
though, gear. You lose gear in the next expansion. You won't lose your pets.
All right. Clear Discord. 3, 2, get ready. First bottle of anima in 5. Okay, bottled anima is going down. We need people in those circles.
Got her.
Thank you very much. Okay, beam's going out. Okay, we've got shape coming up. All right, maybe shape.
2 stacks.
Yep. You're gonna need to adjust slightly. There we go. Cool.
3, 2, 1.
Concentrated anima coming in. Exio off to the skull.
Okay, I'm gonna go and pick up the.
Got the
Okay.
boss.
Got bottled.
Someone in that circle. And switch targets. Beam
Drain,
is coming
take
up in
2.
3.
Drain, take 2.
Okay, coming to take the boss back.
So we're doing shapes and draining at the same time. So just be very aware of your health right now. Okay, beams.
Two stacks.
Bottled anima.
Three, 2.
Concentrated anima is coming up.
About to blow up.
Okay, concentrated anima is finally coming in. Alright, Grux, off to the skull.
I'll grab the ad.
Actually, I'll grab the ad. You take the boss.
Got her.
Got the ad.
Okay, switch tab, please. And shapes. If you're not on shapes, use DPS cooldowns to get rid of that ad. Watch the AoE on the floor. Ad is down, good job, bottled anima. Bottled Anima is coming. In it comes. Running in.
Three, two.
Concentrated Anima. We've got just enough space. We want to switch next time. Okay.
Haunting.
Truff to the skull.
I'll pick up the ad.
Okay.
And switch targets.
Lust.
Shapes. I'm heading to the back.
Something.
Good job.
Thank you.
Bottled Anima.
The other side.
Yeah. Okay. So you're going to want to run to the star if you get another concentrated anima again. Really got to watch those bottled animas as well. Use your pots if you need to. Okay, shapes. Make that shape. Getting concentrated anima soon. Good job on shape. Okay, run to the star, please, Truff. Okay, get ready to and switch targets. DPS, DPS.
Switch.
Taking the boss.
Got the ad.
Shape.
Okay, make the shape. Keep an eye on your health. Yep. We got rotating beams now, you need to be really careful.
2 stacks.
Okay, battle res healers as a priority, please. Concentrated anima is coming up. Make the shape.
I don't know what to do.
What's happening?
I don't know. I think I got a thing. Do I need to?
Or we continue tank swapping. Okay, we've got an ad coming up on the right hand side. Okay, switch DPS. Blow your cooldowns. Get this thing down.
I'm dead.
Okay.
Resing. Pusher.
3, 2, 1.
I'm dead
beam
again.
on me? What the hell?
No, you're fine. It's because everyone else is dead.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll just let it go.
It's okay. We'll get this one next week.
Yep, I think the spicy bit that got us was that we got beams and then they started rotating, which clipped everybody.
I'm sorry about that one bottled one. I went to go get it, and it was on an already a dead spot, and I saw a bunch of pets, and I thought there was a druid in there.
No, you're all good.
So I ran out.
Honestly, that's actually an extremely funny thing to do.
Right?
Well, I'm looking down, and there's like 5 pets. So I'm like, oh, Kobe or Lion's in there. I'll get out.
I was like, do I go in? Do I? Oh no! I see a bear. Okay, cool. A druid just bear form to tank it, but nope.
I agree entirely with what you said, Esri. I think we're all tired after the holidays, so I'm sure next week will be better.
Oh, we'll kick her ass next week.
Oh, yeah.
Especially because next week we'll have 1 through 3 dead on Wednesday, and then come in here on Sunday and start with her, and she'll be owned.
That being said,
Can we get a portal?
That being said, she's got some really tough jugs.
That she does.
She does.
Don't forget to do your last repairs before I turn off Guild Bake repairs for the evening. And logs are already up, so feel free to take a look at those and analyze yourself. And we will see you on Wednesday. Great job, Fiona, as usual. You're amazing.
No, I appreciate it. I apologize for being slightly late, and also thanks for being patient with us. The previous raid, when we had a bunch of stuff go sideways unexpectedly. Although happily, I can report that after some time in hospital and a few hairy points, my father-in-law is feeling better and is off a breathing tube and is recovering.
Very
so
good
That's
to know.
good.
That's great to hear.
All right.
but yeah. And also, if you have feedback and stuff, or you notice a thing and stuff, that's really valuable. Because we don't we're not omniscient. So if you notice stuff, feel free to send Smoke, Sun, and me just kind of any notes you have. And then what we do is we collate them, and then we have a raid planning meeting. So we'll go over all the feedback, including our own, and then optimize everything for the next one.
What's that website again? I apparently did not save it.
For which one?
For logs.
Warcraftlogs.com.